All right.
Now recording.
Hello.
Hi, how you doing?
We're live.
We are. Yeah.
Well, technically, if you're listening to this now, you are. But also, if you're listening to this now, but it's not when we're live, like when you're listening to the podcast, when it's a podcast, then it's not. Oh my goodness. Very
so it's live. It's live then and live now.
Yes.
Sure.
If you say so. Hello and welcome back to the Minecraft Update podcast. It's very much unofficial episode 41 and we have a very exciting podcast for you with all sorts of new fandangled things and no, it's exactly the same as usual.
Yeah. No.
We're
live.
supposed to be doing entertaining things. I mean,
yeah.
Us entertaining? Never.
Obviously, the way I like to start a podcast is to quiz my podcast members, my hosts, to ask, what have you been up to this week? And this week, I'm going to start with Slack. Come on, Slack. Tell me all about your week.
I relaunched Slackville, and I've been playing Minecraft in 7 days. And yes, that's nothing really important. You know, what is TB? I forgot what TB was.
Wow.
You know.
Okay, not woot woot bat.
Well, you did say you quit until next season, so you know.
Yeah, I've quit until next season. I'm done.
Yeah.
Fair.
I mean, how's it
next summer.
feel? You're a week into your 6 months, hiatus. How's it going? So you're not getting that itch to jump back in yet?
No. I mean, how long did it take you when you went on your hiatus? What, 3 or 4 months?
Well, a couple of days, I think.
Okay. You just keep saying that, yeah. But,
Yeah, it was. I didn't feel very long. Okay, jeez. All right,
Definitely not.
Jessiie, have you done anything this week? Because you've quit TV as well, haven't you? So I'm
Well.
assuming you've done nothing.
Well, you see about that. What I have realized this week is I am a fibber and never trust me to take a break ever because that just doesn't happen. So since the last podcast, I have put roughly 84 hours into my base
What
on
base?
TB.
on what,
TB.
excuse me? You said last week you were with me. You were done.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm not doing nothing until the new season. And then you just turn around and you're like, oh, let's see, there's only like 100 and some odd hours in a week. Let me put the vast majority of them into the base I said I was done with. Did I understand this right?
Slightly.
Mm.
So you see what had happened was all of a sudden there was like this motivation and by motivation, I mean, I am stubborn and I don't like to do things poorly. So I terraformed an entire lush cave, completely and it looked great. So worth But other than that, I got sick. I am miserable. I have a fever, but I'm here. I'm making the effort. I'm putting the time in just because I love you guys. It's fine.
Wait a minute. So you started a build, you weren't happy with it, and then you had to fix upon it, right?
Yeah.
That sounds like me.
Yeah.
I started doing this like mountain over there, and I had to get a friend to put some trees on it because I couldn't be bothered to make it look better. I mean, what? Oh, hi.
Yeah. That didn't happen. That's totally not a thing.
Wow.
How about you, Foxy?
Yeah, what's up,
Mr.
Foxy?
Not done with TB.
Well,
What'd you do?
Interestingly, even though I'm not done with TB, I haven't actually been on TB at all because I've been very busy. I've been very busy doing secret things that I'm not allowed to tell anybody about yet, which is very frustrating. But I've been really enjoying doing these secret things, and I'm having a whale of a time doing it. So hopefully within a couple of weeks, everybody will know all of these secret things that I've been doing. But in the meantime, I can't tell you anything about them other than they are secret and things. Aside from that, I took Jack and Oliver to play some adventure mini golf, which we didn't even know existed. I took them out for tea near where Jack lives, and where next to the restaurant, all of a sudden there was this thing popped up, which was like, it looked like this cave, and it said adventure golf on it. I was like, oh, we're going in there. And it was just like mini golf with tigers and skulls and like lightning and thunder. It was great. We had a great time doing that. It was awesome. So that was fun. And then what's really good is I woke up today with no electricity, and I went on a bit of an adventure this morning to discover that I'm very lucky that my house didn't burn down last night, according to the electrician that came out to fix it.
Wow.
After many panicking and having to jimmy my way into a garage because of the geniuses that lived in this house before me, put an electric garage door as the only access into the garage, which is where all the fuse boxes are. And the fuse box overnight had managed to melt itself due to a loose wire. As such, I couldn't open the garage door to get in, so I had to crawl underneath it and jimmy it up on some bricks, and then get an electrician to come and fix it for me. So that was a bit of a panic, but we're all good now.
Did the electrician have to crawl under the door too?
No, because from the inside there's a manual override, you see. So you just get this like bent stick and you hook it in and you spin it around a bunch of times and the garage door goes up. But you can't obviously do that for security reasons from the outside, which is
Well, at least he didn't have to crawl.
I'm just, I'm really glad that your house didn't burn down. Like, my main takeaway is, oh man, that's terrifying. New fear unlocked. So glad you're okay.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I can't imagine it would burn down, but that's what he said. But it's like, well, it's not really anywhere it can, and it's all made out of plastic. So what's the worst could happen?
Oh, yeah. Knock on wood there, my friend. Knock on wood.
That feels like a what could possibly go wrong kind of moment.
Yeah.
Speaking of knocking on wood, Jessie and Slack, I've been knocking my head against the desk, reading many feedback this week.
Hold on. Let's look at the feedback document.
Yep. Open in the link.
We got a bunch of feedback.
What is this? What is this 13-page one down here?
Yeah, and there was many that I didn't include because we got so many from one particular person who I'm not going to name that has decided to take it upon themselves to give me enough reading every week to never have to worry about doing anything else again. So without further ado, we're going to start with Territe. And they say, hello, humans that run a very good podcast. I hope this is the right section for this part, but if Mojang say modding is much quicker than actual development when modders are making tons of high-quality mobs, e.g. Alex's mobs, then I think Mojang might need to change how they make features because it's much more inefficient. Very cool podcast. I hope it stays around for quite a while because it's currently my favourite one. Yes, better than the spawn chunks. Oh, wow. Also, you didn't pronounce my name round, just so you know. Territe fell into the void because there are no flying end mobs. Wow. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it, that a solo developer can create a bunch of stuff to a high standard if they try hard enough in a very short space of time, whereas a company that's literally their job to do that takes months. And there's a lot to say for quality control and testing and iterating on designs and feedback and stuff like that. And we mentioned in the last episode distractions of a work environment and an office and the powers that be of you going, yeah, but can't you just shift that pixel 1 pixel to the left and can't you just do that? So there is a lot of slowdowns when working in a big business, but there just does seem to be a massive disparity in terms of what one person can do with a little bit of skills and knowledge and one person that's their job to do it can do. So I would imagine that maybe the work, I have no idea. I've never been to Mojang offices. I don't know anyone from there other than talking to a couple of the developers on Discord. So I wouldn't want to suggest that it's not a very efficient way of doing things, but it sounds to me, yes, it's not a very efficient way of doing things. But then they're working on, they're building everything for 2 code bases, plus everything else has got to work on. It's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah. I do think that it's really easy to throw that out there and be like, well, other people can do it. And we do have to think that there are regulations, there are rules, there are standards that they have to meet as a company. Have
you played this game? Oh, sorry.
Yes, but you have to do things a certain way. I mean, we've all worked at big companies, I'm sure, where there is a more efficient way to do something. Like, full well, like, I could do this so much quicker. I can do this so much more efficiently, and they won't let you. And it's like, but it will be better. It will save me time. I will get more done. No, we do things a certain way because that's how we do them. And
because
even though
that's how we've always done them.
Exactly.
Yes, but, sometimes I think there should be, and I've thought about this for many, many years. I would love to have a job where it was my job to go into a company, take a sort of a look at things, maybe sit there for a week watching how everyone does stuff, and then just give them advice on. And I know you can get consultants that go into business and they go, well, you can change this and you can change that. But I often think an external perspective, rather than somebody that's married to a very old-fashioned traditional way of doing things, could potentially change things for the better in a lot of circumstances. A lot of times there'll be, it's going to, you'll come up with ideas and they'll tell you why, no, you can't do that because of this, and you can't do that because of that, and you can't do this because of this. Yeah, fair enough. But even if it's like 1 in 10 things that make an improvement, it's got to be better, right?
Oh, I definitely agree. And I think it would be beneficial for them to listen and try to improve. I see a lot of times people go after like the devs or the people who are doing the work and not necessarily like the people who are making the rules. And I think that's why I clarify. Like I'm sure that some of these developers could do the job that they're doing right now way more efficiently if they were allowed to. And I just think that it's important to remember that it's not all down to the workers. It's down to the company as a whole.
Yeah, totally agree. Anything to say on that, Slack?
No.
Okay, fair enough. Okay.
All right. So Maribel Jade says,
"Oh God,
I feel like that name is familiar."
No, it doesn't ring a bell. Was that someone new to the podcast? Maybe.
I swear I affiliate Troublemaker with that name.
That tracks. I'm going to have to disagree with Foxy and Jessiie on Minecon Live not being engaging for kids. Both of my kids, 10 and 13, watched and were enthralled the entire time. But then again, I may just have weird kids. They are mine, after all.
I would not like to comment if your kids are weird or not, Jade. I don't feel that would be a good thing for me to do. But we obviously have very different children.
Yeah.
Just saying, mine are probably weird, to be fair.
Do we need rotated out face? I mean, literally, they said TB members 11 months ago, season 3 was too short, and now TB members now, season 4 is too long. What is TB? What is TB?
Season 3 was was it just short of 6 months?
Yeah.
And when we get to the end of this month, TB season 4 will already have been going for a year. So I don't see the issue there.
Yeah, they need somewhere right in the middle there. Yep.
Yeah. And and the fact that we're going to be going on till next summer when the next update comes out, it's going to be a real long season. It's fine. Gee.
Yep.
Right.
Lots of Call of Duty. Yep. Lots of Call of Duty.
Oh, goodness.
OG Spatman says, and this is a long one, so strap in.
I'm going to take a nap.
You need to listen. This is feedback.
Yep,
no, this is feedback. It doesn't mean I have to engage in it. It's just feedback.
Wow.
This isn't a discussion on whether it's a good idea or a bad idea. This is feedback.
Wow. Okay. Hey, Foxy, Slack, and Jess, writing to give you a shout out and thank you for a great podcast. I got into Minecraft a while back with my 6-year-old son. We found you while searching Minecraft content to listen to during our commute. He doesn't get some of your humor, so when we listen together, we often go for that other podcast, but I'm always keeping up with the other official Minecraft update when he's not with me. I've ended up getting way into Minecraft and play an unhealthy amount. Because I play on PS4, I've never been able to use any of Fox's add-ons. When he came out with the entity debug, I figured it was exactly what I needed to do to solve a persistent lag problem I've had at my base. Having my main area be so laggy has been really taking the fun out of playing. Foxy, I purchased Minecraft for my PC just so I could install your add-ons, and it was so worth it. I added the debug and the markers add-ons there, and they installed effortlessly, and I was able to activate them on my Realm. Now that they're running, I can open up my Realm on my PS4 and use them. Thank you. I'm still trying to figure out what's causing all the lag. It's not a big base, and there isn't much there. Sorting system with about 40 slots, a few machines, maybe 15 paintings, etc. But at least I have more info to go on now. It's built directly above a stronghold. Maybe that affects things. Thanks again for all the work you put into the podcast and YouTube channels. Your humor, vulnerability, and education are great for the community. Love your voices, your laughs, and your wows. Keep it up. OG Batman was blown up by a creeper while distractedly scrolling through some armor stand poses. Wow. Thank you.
Yeah, that made me smile. You're amazing. Thank you.
See, Slack, that was nice feedback.
Humbug.
Wow.
Your base is laggy because you got 40 item sorters and you're using chests instead of barrels.
Yeah, probably.
Take down any signs you got.
Boxes.
Yeah. Put up barrels instead. There you go. Solve your lag.
Strip it all down. Take
Don't
your
need no
signs
hoppers.
down.
Take all them out. Manually sort stuff.
Yeah,
Jeez.
put composters on your hoppers.
Yep.
Just, yeah.
God. Never teach these people. Wow.
Pearl says, hello, was listening to the podcast and I thought your idea about the empty was really good and well-balanced idea. I would just make one minor tweak, which would be flying, which I agree should be different from normal survival. And there would be some sort of extra maneuverability, but I would say it should be more like a hover or a flotation rather than a fly wherever you want. Also, the breaking blocks instantly seems like it would be weird, but I think it does make sense to allow for easier building.
How does flotation and hovering differ from creative flight?
Yes.
It's the same thing to me.
Yes.
If you can move backwards, forwards, and side to sides while you're doing it, which you would need to in order to build while you're hovering, then I can't see what the difference is. Maybe it wouldn't be quite so speedy.
Like you're in water.
Yeah, maybe.
Without
Without that weird bobbing up and down thing, though. Stupid water building. What do you think, Jesse?
I thought this was just feedback. You suddenly seem very, very touchy about something that was your idea with the empty. I'm just saying.
No, I like the idea. I think it's good. I don't understand the difference. I don't know.
I would imagine that the difference between flying versus like hovering or floating would be like speed, right? Like, so when you're flying, obviously it's quicker and it's more creative, like, whereas if you have to float or hover, it adds like that little bit of a challenge. I would imagine that would be the only difference, but
as long as when you're hovering, you're not like going up and down like you're bobbing.
That would be miserable.
You need to be stationary.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, I'll take that feedback back on board, and when I build the empty for everybody, I'll take that into consideration.
No, but put it in the bad idea bin. I'm straight in the bad idea bin right now.
Okay. Wow. Jeez.
Vicious.
Moving on.
Oh, to Divine Madness here. I feel like I gotta go a little country with this one, considering what they're saying. Hi, Foxy, Slack, and Jess. I love the podcast, and you guys have a great dynamic. It's so much fun listening to y'all while I muck out these horse stalls. Keep up the great work, and I can't wait till next podcast.
Do any people in the South have horses?
I grew up in a barn.
I think people all over the place have horses.
Yeah. Wow. Rude.
Wow.
Wow.
Thank you, Divine Madness. Me, as John says, with the talk about build-up and hype, if the features they released in Minecraft Live are really ready, not super buggy, then just release them to the public in a real version. I'd much prefer many smaller releases with incremental features than a seemingly endless beta release cycle where only minor changes are being introduced week over week. Realistically, the Minecraft releases are not life and death like medical equipment or vehicles, so what's the worst that can happen if a small feature release has some bugs? Everything has bugs of some kind. At my workplace, we're trying to foster an attitude of releasing often and failing fast, and I feel like some of the things they demonstrated will be much better received if they're released in that manner. Sorry for the book. Love you guys. Oh, me as John. Oh, man. See, I got to say that attitude of, oh, it'll be okay is the one that seems to be taking over the world, and why nothing works. Everything's broken. When you buy stuff, it falls to pieces. I strongly disagree with that attitude. I think everything should be done until it's ready and proper, so we don't have to keep going over it and fixing it over and over again, because look at that Bedrock Edition cycle, which you've just mentioned there, you don't like, is exactly because there's so many bugs because things aren't finished properly before they're released. Now, interestingly enough, they have said for Java Edition they're going to start doing more regular minor updates like they already do on Bedrock Edition to bring features out when they're ready. So they're already going to be doing that rather than just relying on one big update per year. Bedrock already does that to a certain extent, but it's more behind the scenes stuff and sort of behavior pack add-on-y type stuff that gets released rather than new features and blocks and entities and things like that. But they already do that. But I wish the world would go back to let's be proud of what we produce and get it right first time rather than letting the people suffer with it. Because the problem is nobody complains, and they make it so hard to complain that people just go, oh, well, we haven't got enough complaints. It's clearly good enough. Let's move on to the next one. And that's not a good attitude.
Yeah, I agree.
I wrote down 2 things on my whiteboard here: Treepers and ban me as John. Yep.
Wow. Aw, poor me is John.
Yeah. I'm not in the mood today at all. I'm in a great mood. I'm happy. Yep.
Of course. Well, we can move on to Bigelow then, because Bigelow says, "Hi, podcast crew. I want to say I really enjoy your podcast. I come and listen to you guys because I like to hear you guys. You guys are the only Minecraft podcast I listen to, and if I wanted to hear how Pixel sounds, I would go and listen to that podcast. I am here to support you. Keep up the good work in all the content you give us." Hang
on, I've made a mistake here.
Yeah, a little bit, but it's okay.
My bad. You've got 2 to read now, Jessie.
Okay, I will read both of these. So thank you, Bigelow. That is very kind.
Yeah, thank you. You're nice. We don't need silky smooth voice over here at all.
No.
Wow. Well, then the second one I have is from Jammy Toaster, who says, "Hi, F, S, and J." Wow, why was that hard to read? I was listening to the Chiseled bookshelf talk and the 1.20 snapshot released the day of the podcast release. I am sad to inform you that the Chiseled bookshelves do not allow you to place or take books from a specific place. If you want the book first placed in, you need to take all the other books out. Thank you for the great pod. Can't wait for the next one. Oh, that is heartbreaking.
It's like bundles all over again.
Yeah, that is actually. Oh,
you mean that,
heartbreaking?
You mean that thing that got released into Java that they said they weren't doing? Yeah.
Oh man, why? I can only assume, and we're going to talk about this in the news, and I've got a section later on about this as well. But I can only assume that they are going to do it correctly, and it is a work in progress feature. That's what I'm going to put my hoping hat on.
This is what we get for Bedrock. You're not going to be able to pick out book number 1. You got to take out book 65432 first. Yeah.
It's the same on Java. They both do exactly the same thing, and it is such a shame because, you know, I know it would have been more work for them and quite complicated to do, but it would be really nice if you put a written book in there, then the book that goes in the place where you put it is blue, and you put an enchanted book in and it's purple, and you put a non-written book in and it's red. So you can create custom textures. That's what people want from bookshelves, is the bookshelves to look different. But now they all look the same because they all end up with exactly the same texture when you put all the books in them, regardless of what book it is. The only way you can vary the texture is to not quite put all of the books in which case it always looks like the bottom half of your bookshelf is empty. So, yeah, I can't believe that this is the finished product. I can't. There's got to be more coming than that. Otherwise, why bother?
Yeah.
Because they're not a storage system, are they? They're not a good way to store your books because there's not enough slots. So what's the point?
Do we even need them then? Can we just ban them? Can we throw these chiseled bookshelves in the bad idea bin and just tell them to start over?
Yeah, we'll keep them in none of the bins until they fix it. Okay.
Okay, so that means nobody on TV can ever use them until they're fixed.
Yes.
Exactly. Oh man.
Come on, Slack. What's next?
Cat boss, man. Why am I always the one reading about this? Quick feedback. There's a mod called the Better Combat mod that has tactically evasive rolling. The guy who created it needs to be a developer, right? Yeah.
Interesting that dodge rolling, regardless of whether I bring it up or not, always seems to feature it.
I don't remember no email
Always.
from Cat Boss this week. I'm just saying.
It was in the feedback form. Just saying. It was hard to find it between all of the many, many, many feedbacks from that other person that I'm not going to mention, but it was in
the
there.
next person? I mean, what? Huh? Who?
Yeah,
No.
This week, peeps, we had 20 submissions to the feedback form. So this is not just so excluding the Discord, excluding the emails, excluding YouTube comments, there were 20 feedback forms, and only 3 of them were from other people. 17 of them were from one person. And I'm not going to say your name. You know who you are. You don't. I really appreciate the fact that you love the podcast. I really appreciate the fact that you want to engage, but you don't need to write 17 pieces of feedback a week. It's okay. 2 or 3 is fine. I'm happy with that. Okay, so on to somebody completely different. Purple says, "Hey guys, it's Purple again. I have something to say to you guys that doesn't fit into any category, so have fun fitting this into the podcast. You don't necessarily have to read this, but go ahead if you want to. I think you guys are the most important type of people in the gaming community. You're entertaining, not money grabbing, and you seem to have fun always. This podcast symbolizes some good people left in the world. You rock." Purple, that is exactly what feedback is. That is the definition of feedback. So all of the other things that you put in feedback that were listed as feedback, think about those not being feedback, and that is it. That's what we want from feedback.
Yeah, we're not money grabbing at all. It's only $5 a question this week.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God. But seriously, no, that is really amazing feedback. Thank you so much. That means at least the world to me. I'm not going to be all jokey about it. I'm going to say that is very kind, and that makes me smile and makes my heart happy. So I adore you and thank you.
Yes, so thank you, Purple.
And then we go to Purple again.
Really?
Who says,
Oh, interesting.
Weird.
"Hey guys, Purple here. I think that there should be a specific Minecraft update podcast Discord. This would give another wait. This would give another way for people to give feedback and maybe even expose people to the podcast more. Not sure why this would be a bad idea or an issue, but I do see randos going on there spamming. Then you guys need mods or Discord auto mod. I personally run a server, and this turns into a mess fast. Just a thought." We do have a specific...
I mention it 3 or 4 times a podcast. It's in the show notes. It's in the YouTube description. It's on the website. I couldn't make it more
we don't need
obvious
Discord,
if I tried.
Nah.
So this currently we are here right now going live on this Discord. Maybe your point there being we need more mods. We should think about that, because I'm sure that the 3 of us are not in there often enough to see if anything is bad or spammy, but we'll look into that. Thank you for that feedback.
But just to reiterate, Purple, we have a Minecraft update specific Discord. We have had pretty much from the beginning, and that is exactly where we're doing this live show, which we talked about last week. I think I know what the problem is, guys. I think Purple's so busy writing the feedback and thinking about what they're going to tell us next week that they're not listening to the podcast.
No, not Purple. Purple listens to everything.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, the next feedback here is from Purple again. I'm just saying.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Weird.
yeah. And it says, "Hey guys, I have an idea for the next Minecraft Live. This year was so boring that I stopped watching." See, they don't listen to everything. They stopped listening to Minecraft Live. I'm just pointing that out there. That they stopped watching it and turned on the old podcast of ours. My idea next year, this podcast needs to be on Minecraft Live. It would be far better than this year's Minecraft Live. Purple. Wow.
I don't think Mo Yang would appreciate our level of honesty.
No, not at all. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Just imagine us being like, you're awful. This is awful. We love you, but this better. Do better.
They're like, we're
hey, look,
introducing,
hot guy. Go and
we're
get a different job.
introducing ostriches this update. Not banned. Just get rid of them. No, passive mob
Bad
does
ideas,
nothing.
Ben.
That would be amazing if there was just us three on a panel and they had to run all of the ideas by us to put in the good ideas bin. That'd be brilliant. That'd be amazing. Yes.
So they'd be like, Jesse, we're gonna add in this new, termite, but it's gonna produce sawdust that you can put around for decoration. She'd be like, oh yeah, so
Yeah.
No, see, there would be stipulations there. There would be if it can ruin my build, like if a termite can eat my build, my wood. Oh no. Banned. Insta banned. Now, if it just is like randomly throughout the world eating wood that nobody has like chopped down, go for it. Sure. Why not? Give me that sawdust. I want decorations.
They can leave floating trees everywhere.
Yeah,
UFOs.
I'll love it.
You find a termite hill and you just plant some trees around it and it just devours those.
And you get the logs, you get the sawdust, and you can take it and combine that up with like glue or something and make it back into wood that you can use to build with, right? That's how we do wood farms in the future, right?
Oh,
exactly. Right. We are still in the feedback section here, guys, and time's going on. We have one more piece of feedback from Zodiophile, who says, from 2 episodes ago, you touched on one of my favorite things in Minecraft, tropical fish. When you pick them up and put them in a bucket, it was originally just called a tropical fish in a bucket. A while ago, they changed it to be more specific, at least on Bedrock. I don't know when exactly the change happened. Now the name changes according to the kind and colour of the fish in the bucket. For example, blue dory in a bucket, green something or other in a bucket, or pink butterfly fish in a bucket. There's lots of other stuff on the wiki about how many are naturally spawning and whether or not it's a fish in real life. Does this inspire any of you to collect them all of the podcast? No, because they all look exactly the same.
Not interested.
No.
Unless I can put them in an aquarium.
I couldn't be bothered to read through all of the buckets to see if I got duplicates. I want to see that visually with my eyes, not looking at the same bucket of fish over and over again and trying to see if I've got the same blue dory somewhere else in one of the chests I've got. I mean, how many chests of buckets of fish would you need to catch them all? What did we say? There was like 1,700 different types or something.
No, bad idea.
That's why we need fish tanks. You can put them all on a wall. It'd be amazing.
Yes, give me fish tanks.
Can we just get the ability to take pictures with a camera and put them in like a scrapbook?
Yeah. Scrapbooks. Another thing to add to those amazing bookcases that don't work.
Yeah.
Add it to your wish list.
Where's my wish list for this week? Hold on.
Okay.
I think I got something.
That is it for the feedback. If you would like to leave us feedback, you can by emailing us news@theminecraftupdate.com, or you can fill in the handy feedback form if you can find a space within all of the ones that are already in there on our website. Or, Purple, if you're listening to this, we have a Discord where you can join that. The link is in the description below, and we have a specific channel just for feedback. It's fantastic. You should definitely join it and start spamming that as well. Moving on from feedback, of course, it is time for the news, and we've had a couple of big releases this week. Starting with... No. I need you both for this.
Okay,
We're going to do some back and forthing over the news. We've got stable release just today, Minecraft Bedrock 1.19.40, with many, many changes. Would you like to know about some of those changes, guys?
Absolutely.
Okay, that just felt straight up like a promo out of like Starship Troopers. Would you like to know more?
I'm not going to go through everything, the whole change list, because it's ridiculously long, but these are a few of the things that I've picked out from them that we have talked about previously because we've gone over the news in the betas, but these are in Minecraft as of today. So you will now get death messages or custom death messages from custom weapons that have a name, and mobs that kill you with a named weapon will also give you a custom death message. They are adding the correct grass colours to the savanna, roof forest, and birch forest biomes, so that they will all be different colours now. There will be no more mobs spawning in the ancient cities, and Jessiie B, we can now plant sweet berry bushes on farmland. What do you think about that? Jessie's asleep. Great. Okay. Wake up. She's literally gone. Wow. Wow. Rude. Okay, bubble column strength has been changed to have parity with Java Edition. Scaffolding burn rate has been fixed, and the wither skeletons spawn on wither roses now. Swimming has the hunger parity to match Java Edition, and they've also, for more parity, increased the Ravager collision box and increased the Ravager speed. Now, the Ravagers already struggle to go down a 2x2 hole in your raid farm, so now they're going to struggle even more, I would imagine. So those lava blades are really going to come in useful.
Yep.
Jessiie, are you back yet?
Yeah.
Okay. The villagers will now have even more problems with rolling trades because they will, of course, now sell the cursed books as well, which is really annoying. And guess what, guys? They've fixed amphibious mob pathfinding. But they said in 1.90.51 that they haven't fixed. I don't know. Maybe they have. Maybe they haven't. Who knows? Good news for keyboard players. You can now sprint diagonally, which is nice. The trapdoors at the top of... Oh, go on.
Well, no, what does that mean? Like sprint diagonally? Like
okay,
just,
so
like, floop? That's weird.
if you're playing keyboard and mouse, you can only sprint in the direction that you're facing. So if you're running forward and you double tap forwards or you hit the sprint button, you will sprint in a straight line. But if you try and strafe, then you'll lose your sprint. So I'm assuming this allows you to strafe and sprint to more match what it's like using a controller.
Oh, okay. I get it.
Okay. So the trapdoors on bubble columns damage fix has been fixed. The floating guardians has been fixed. Baby villagers will now accept flowers again from iron golems. Tamed mobs will follow you through end portals now. And we've got the huge fungus not breaking partial blocks thing fixed that we've gone on about 28 million times over the last few weeks. One that really stood out to me that I wasn't expecting is that there was I don't know how much this will affect Redstone, but this is the first Redstone fix I think I've ever seen on Bedrock Edition. And apparently there was a bug where Redstone signal strength wasn't emitted properly in certain situations, and they say they've fixed that. So I'm wondering if that's going to have any effect on our random hoppers and random pistons. I doubt it, but it would be nice if it was. On Realms, they have fixed the ability to add add-ons again, apparently, so that's good news. So you can all put my add-ons back on Realms, which is fantastic. Custom block geometry is officially out, which means any of your custom blocks can look pretty much like whatever you want, providing that they are within a 1.8 size of a block square or cube. Does that make sense? So you couldn't do a full two block high door, but you could make a door that was 1.8 blocks high.
Oh.
Yeah. They are renaming the game test framework to beta APIs, which is really interesting. And there are some major changes with the game test APIs. If anyone's done any of that stuff, it's all going to break with this update because you're going to have to rename a load of things, which is wonderful.
Nice.
There are more execute commands, Slack. This is good news. So we're getting the Java execute system finally in. I think that's still in experimental mode. It doesn't actually mention that on there, but yeah, we're going to have execute in, execute anchored, execute facing, execute align, execute rotated, execute if, execute unless, all of the whole bunch. So that's going to make working with commands slightly more complicated, but also way more powerful.
It's not going to make them easier. It's actually going to make it more complicated.
It is, but now what I really like is the fact that we've got if and unless, which means it was impossible before to detect if something didn't match some criteria. So if you are looking for something not being in a place, or an entity not existing, or somebody not having a particular item in their hand, you couldn't do that. But now you've got the unless, which means you can, which is fantastic. They are adding rotation to summon commands, which means you can summon a mob facing any direction you want, which, believe it or not, has been a big problem for me with the marketplace map that I'm working on, having summoning things in and facing the wall, which is really annoying. So that's great. And that is about it from the notes that I have made on that. There's a whole bunch more stuff in there if you're interested in that.
I've seen an important one in there.
Oh, go on.
Under the blocks, temporarily reverted the changes to the dirt path and farmland collision changes, as well as soul sand and mud blocks.
Again? Wow.
Yeah, but they also say that amphibious path. This is what confused me with this changelog, because for the last few previews we've had, it's literally been on and off. One will say we fixed amphibious mob pathfinding and put the blocks back to normal, and the next one will say the blocks have gone back again, and then the next one will say the fixed amphibious mob pathfinding and done it, and the last one we got, which was last week, said it's all been undone again. Yet this is 1.40, which was released today, and this says they've fixed the amphibious mob pathfinding, but they've reverted to changing on the blocks, which suggests that the pathfinding is broken. So I'm very confused with that. I think.
Good luck. Good luck.
I don't understand. you say things and like they just go over my head, and I'm just like, this works.
Yeah, but where's my picture? Here's my picture. Hold on, there. Yeah, there's my picture. Yeah.
You can't share pictures. This is a podcast.
Well, I can share it to the Discord. That's more reason for people to join the Discord.
I shared it in that one. Okay.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Those are definitely all words. Yes, that's exactly how I feel. Where they're words. They're words that, when you put them together, make sentences. That's my takeaway. Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Possible.
If you would like to read the full changelog, the link for that will be in the description below. And next we have our second and last piece of news is Minecraft Preview 1.19.50.21 came out last week. And this is the one that includes all of the brand new features we are going to be getting on Bedrock Edition. And don't forget, we also got a snapshot on Java Edition, which had the same things in as well. But there were a few differences. Before we go into the differences, I'm going to talk about some of the things that were in there, such as the new bamboo wood types, bamboo blocks, and you can craft bamboo blocks into chests, which now means chests are as cheap as chips, or cheap as bamboo, I guess.
Yeah,
which is amazing. What amazing change. Do you think they'll change it back again?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. 3 or 4 times.
It's so overpowered. There's no way they're going to keep it in.
But why? Because when Redstone's biggest nightmare is going tree chopping, and especially on Java Edition, who don't have the haste effect on axes, it takes forever to demolish enough of those. And unless you built an elaborate wood farm, then getting enough wood to build storage chests is a nightmare. So I think this is a great thing. I don't think wood chests should be that expensive. I think it's a good idea.
Oh, I like it because it means
like the idea.
I can AFK for chests and not have to chop trees.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. So I'm really happy about that. I think that's absolutely brilliant. I'm assuming barrels as well, but I haven't checked that. But I can't see why that wouldn't be a thing. We've obviously got the new flooring and the raft with the chest. I'm very disappointed in the raft because it's just a boat without the sides on. I really wish. Even if I know it sounds daft, but they just take that bottom pixel off so it doesn't have the bit at the bottom, right? So it was just flat, and it would look more like a raft.
Yep.
But don't you think it should be like a little bit wider and a bit longer as well? I think it should be more interesting than just a boat with the sides missing. You should be able to stand up on it. Yeah, I definitely think you should stand up at the back of it. I think that'd be amazing.
Oh, that would be cool.
That's not how it works, though, guys. We just get boat with no sides. That's fine. The next big introduction to this preview and snapshot was, of course, the camel mob, which was interesting because on Java Edition and Bedrock Edition, it worked slightly differently. In Java Edition, it can go pretty much wherever you want it to go. Whereas in Bedrock Edition, if you happen to be stood next to a hill or fallen down a hole, there is no way you can get your camel back out again because they can't go up a single block hill.
And you can't pull it in a boat on a lead because it'll snap the lead. Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, something really weird with camels on Bedrock Edition. Clearly a bug. Obviously, they're going to fix that. But yeah, the fact that the only, I say jump in inverted commas thing it's got like, you know, the horse super jump bar that you get when you jump.
Mm-hmm.
So the camel has that, but it's for its dash ability, but it does make it go up a little bit. but it's not often up enough to actually get over a single block, and it's got a massive cooldown as well. So if you want to go up blocks on Bedrock Edition with the camel, you like wait 20 minutes just to go up a 5-block hill. It's crazy. So yeah, some work to do there, I think. How did they not spot that?
Yeah. Yeah, that seems like an oversight for sure.
I don't want to call out Mojang here because I wouldn't do that.
Never.
If I'm being honest, the fact that they were saying throughout the Minecraft live stream and the showcase that we're only going to include things that we're, way down the line with development on and we're confident work. And then the camel can't go up a hill.
Sorry. Way down the development line. We're making sure it's going to work. It can't go up a one high block. Oh, God.
It's literally one line. It's one line in its code. And I don't get it. Because all mobs have that. Why did they not copy and paste from another? All they need to do was take the horse, right? Put in the new camel features for its dash and just take away whatever the horse has got that the camel shouldn't have. And then you go, ta-da! I fixed it, mate. Oh, man. Jeez. Okay. Right. Hanging signs were introduced, again, with changes between both versions, but these ones are apparently intentional, if you listen to King B Dogs. I'm not 100% sure they were, but it is at least a good showcase for them to make a decision. On Java Edition, the text was shortened. The font size was exactly the same as you would get on normal signs, but because hanging signs are thinner, you can only write about 8 to 10 characters per line. Whereas on Bedrock Edition, you could do exactly the same amount of text and characters, but the writing was tiny, which means unless you are standing right in front of it, you can't read a thing it says. So I think it was him. He actually put a vote out to see what was preferred on that. And I have to say, even though it's less letters, I do prefer the Java one just for the fact that it's, you can read it.
That the text is only on one side of the sign.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Why haven't they put the text on both sides of the sign?
Yeah.
It's a hanging sign.
It makes the sideways one just not make much sense. Like that.
No, you'd have to have two sideways ones.
Yep.
And
Agreed.
how do you know which side you can write on? Does it depend which side you click on it? I haven't played with them, so if you click on the back side, will you end up writing on the front, or does it matter which side you click on it to which side you get the sign on?
It's broken. Bad idea, Ben.
The other thing about hanging signs is, wouldn't they benefit from being able to click them with an item and have that item show on there instead, like an apple or a cake or a piece of beef, rather than writing to suggest what the shop was called? So you can see quite easily at a glance, oh, that's a cake shop, that's a food shop, that's a whatever shop.
Now you got me going, why didn't they do just hanging item frames as well?
Yeah. So I think
paintings.
If they really want to make hanging signs great and go for this expression of creativity and all that sort of stuff they're going for, I would strongly suggest they allow us to paint on them with an item, or even, like you say, have an item frame version of the hanging sign, because that would be amazing.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay, moving on from that. Trapdoors, doors, and fence gates now use the Java Edition sounds on Bedrock Edition. I didn't know they were different.
Yeah, I didn't either.
No.
Clunk, 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 yeah. And clink, 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 yeah.
Oh, it's a clunk versus a clink?
That's kind of.
Uh-huh. Well, there you
Pressure
go.
plates have a different pitch, which has been changed to Max Java Edition, and the button sounds are now different to Max Java Edition. And Crimson and Warped things have their unique set of sounds now as well. So all very interesting sound-related stuff there. Playing baby villagers will now be quicker than they were on Bedrock Edition, in parity with Java Edition. I'm really glad they go for the essential parity fixes first.
Yeah.
Yeah. These are such good ones, yeah.
Who was fiddling with that? When they got this list of bugs in front of them, they're going scrolling down and going, baby's not quick enough. Okay, let's fix that. I don't get it. I don't get it. But camels can't jump up a block. No. Babies, they're not quick enough. Java Edition's different.
Baby's been here for 10 years, but this camel that's new. Oh, you mean it can jump up on one version of the game, but not the other? But let's give them baby parity first. Not worry about the parity of the brand new thing that we're putting in both versions at the same time. Yep. Yeah.
Okay, so, right, moving on from that. Good news! Speedy horses are back, although temporarily they have reverted the fix to stop them from being able to be bred speedier by giving them potion effects because it caused more problems. So, yeah, for the time being, on 1.19.51 in the beta, you will be able to have super speedy horses. Where, no doubt next week they'll say it's been fixed again, and then the week after that, it will be reverted again, and we'll probably back and forth on this one for a while.
And then when it officially drops, they'll say it's gone, but it's there.
Yes.
Oh, definitely.
But only if you use camels. Super speedy camels, yeah.
Now, the next three and the last three that I have highlighted are more for people like me that like doing add-ons and experimental things and stuff like that. The first one is quite a big one. It means that next month, I'm assuming it's going to be next month because they seem to be monthly at the moment, but when, 1.19.50 comes out, the actor properties will be out of experimental mode. And this is interesting because this hasn't actually been in experimental mode all that long. In fact, it's been totally accessible for a while, whereas like items and custom blocks and things like that have been in experimental for a couple of years. These ones have only been in for a few weeks, and they're coming out of experimental already. And this basically solves a problem that most add-on makers will have come across, and that is that, like for my mob heads and mini blocks, for instance, in order to give them all of the abilities to do all of the things that they can do, you're limited by what are called dummy controllers. So basically you have to pick things that don't make sense, like if you want your mini block to change scale, you give it you tell it like this one is shared, or this one has a chest, or this one is a baby, and it's totally like irrelevant stuff that doesn't actually change anything, but it's so you can read that information from something else in order to make it look like it looks. And that's a very rough and not very good way of explaining it. But what this allows you to do is to have a completely unique set of properties for each entity that's kind of like a scoreboard, but it's built into the entity so that you can basically have an infinite number of variables for your entity, which just means you can do so many more things, and it will just make so much more sense to do that. So at some point or other, I will be upgrading my mini blocks and mob heads and things like that to use this, because it will just be way better to do that. But unfortunately, when they do that, it means they're going to be totally uncompatible with what already exists. So I'll probably do that for the update rather than now, so that people don't get all shouty at me that they've updated their pack and all of their heads have gone missing again. So yeah, I'm really excited about that one. That's going to make my life a whole lot easier for many, many things. Commands used to run at the beginning of every game tick. So if people don't know what a game tick is, every 20 times a second, the game basically runs through everything it's got to do, and that's a tick. So the whole bunch of the game code from start to finish, entities updating, moving, animations, functions running, behaviors changing, all of that happens. Like millions and millions of lines of code happen 20 times a second. It's crazy, basically. And commands used to run at the very top of that, and then everything else would process after it. But now I think it's an optimization thing. I don't know how it's going to affect things, but the commands will go at the end of that now, which means that they'll just be processed at the end of each game tick instead of at the beginning. And that should mean that if there's a lot of lag, the entities and the blocks and the stuff that's supposed to happen in the world, the vanilla stuff, will get priority, and like functions and commands and things like that are basically low tier stuff. So I don't think they'll be skipped, but I don't know. It doesn't really make much sense, but it's interesting that's changed. So keep your eyes peeled when this one comes out to see if the world feels or behaves any more differently than it does.
Like if you have too much pending tick data going on, that could be interesting.
Yeah, because that'll all be above commands now.
Yeah, because I guess a chunk. What is it? How many ticks? Or it can only execute like 100 different things per.
Yeah. So it's an interesting one. And then The final thing I got on here is that the initial APIs are releasing out of beta. I don't know why I put... Oh, I see what I've done there, the notes I made. So that we mentioned that the 1.19.40, the game test stuff was called the beta APIs, right? Mm-hmm. So they're starting to release those already out of experimental mode into the actual game. And the first one that they're actually releasing is a way of talking to the Bedrock dedicated server. So... I was looking into this the other day because I've never really played around with these things, and you can access a reasonable amount of stuff from the server using something like a website, or the server can interact with the website basically. So you can set up a script to figure out what entities are around, or like I came up with one to like work out where players are and log them, and that could even like generate a map of around the player or where the player is, and like upload all of that to a website, so you've got a real-time thing of what's going on, which I think is really interesting and quite exciting, because that'll also be useful for very, very clever people cleverer than me, for making things like, well, that will make Bedrock Edition safer if you're playing on a BDS, let's put it that way. Woo! Oh, that's good, Foxy. Yeah, it's very good. Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
This update also has a known issue, which is that if you're playing multiplayer, there are lots of portal crashes, and they are working on a fix. So don't worry about it, guys. It's coming soon. But I mean, to be honest with you, what's new there? We get multiplayer portal crashes all the time, so it doesn't feel like a new
then
one.
it breaks. They fix it, then it breaks. They fix it, then it breaks. I mean, we see this just in our change logs alone. A little less in the game, you know?
Yeah, it's thing.
Okay, that's the end of the news. No more news shall be had today. You two can both wake back up again.
I'm awake.
As we stroll into the Bugdate and find out what's bugging you. Jessie, what's been bugging you this week?
Remember how I said I've been working on my like underground area and like making it a lush cave? Well, yes. I have had many mobs spawning where they should not be spawning. I have had them spawning directly under glowberries. I have had them spawning directly on top of torches. I have had them spawning pretty much everywhere. I'm convinced I've caught them spawning on carpets. I'm just like, they're just everywhere, and I don't understand it, and it is quite frustrating.
That's annoying. Well, we are playing on TB still on 1.19.11, so we're a bit behind. So maybe that's been fixed in the latest one. So we'll see. We will see. Slack, what's bugging you?
.31, where we reset Slackville and been playing on there. These updates with the lights, just like you walk into a cave that you've lit up previously, and you go back in there, and like only the block the torch is on is lit up, and everything else is pitch black. It's so annoying.
Now,
it's
that was fixed in the 1.19.40 betas and previews, but I didn't see it. Maybe I skipped over it, but I didn't see it in the release that came out today. Notes. Is that? I think that has been fixed, hasn't it?
I hope, because it's one of those bugs. It goes away, it comes back, it goes away, it comes back, and you're like, please, can we all get on the same version of the code when we're updating things? That would be nice.
Right.
Can we get the people that are on 1.16 off of 1.16 now? I mean, can we at least get them on 1.17?
That would be nice. Jeez. Okay, for my bug, what's bugging me this week is when I've been working on the super secret things that are super secret that I can't talk about. One of the things that's not working for those super secret things is I'm making an entity, and they want it to share things. So you know our villager will throw carrots at another villager if it's hungry. Yeah. So basically, what happens is you give an entity the component pick up items, and you give it another one that says shareables, and another one that says that it will share items with a particular entity. So you can tell it what items it can pick up. You can tell it how many it considers it needs to have in its inventory before it will give the other ones away, and you can tell it what entity it will give them to. And I've literally spent hours today and yesterday trying every single way I could possibly think to do it, reading many like documentation on it all, and I cannot get my little entity to share it will keep the items, but it won't give them away again. So I'm really annoyed. I've had to take that out of my little plan for that one. But
can I ask you a question?
Yeah. Yes.
Can you access the allays components? It picks up and throws items.
You can, but the allay is different. So the two problems with the allay. First of all, the allay will only share with a note block or its owner, which means that entity needs to be tamed. Mm-hmm. Second of all, so there's three problems actually. Second of all, the sounds for the allay are hard coded. So if you give that code to another mob, it will make allay noises when it throws the items and picks them up. And the third one is that it will only do it with items it's holding. And I wanted this thing to pick up anything and then throw anything at something else. So yeah,
I know. I got it for you. They're custom mob maker.
It only takes 30 seconds. Yeah, why didn't I think of that? Jeez. Oh, I'm so dumb.
I mean, they made a big deal out of it at Minecraft Live that you got a custom mob maker. Just say it, Foxy. Maybe that's what you're doing wrong.
Maybe it is. Yeah. Oh, jeez. Oh, you're so smart, Slack. Jeez, I should have called you. Okay, that's enough feedback for all Bugdate stuff from us. Let's find out what's bugging our community, starting with JJ1109. It says, I am so sick of 1.19.31 and chunk rendering. It's just terrible. I'm flying and boom, a massive area of chunks just isn't rendered. Takes up to 30 seconds for these to load at times. I died in the nether when a magma cube was attacking me across a chunk border from an unrendered chunk. I didn't take any damage until I died. Bug tracker link for an old unfixed bug that seems to match, and then there is a link there which I'll put into the show notes. So I really hope the fix this is 1.40.
Yeah.
Or 1.90.40, sorry.
You know, I've been playing on 1.19.31 for a week now, and I've never experienced that.
Really?
Maybe it's a single player thing rather than a server thing.
Maybe because we got it on server and I've not experienced that. Just the lighting issue.
Well, I know JJ plays on my patron server, and I get screenshots all the time of him on the server and having that problem. So
just curious,
I know.
Do you know what they play on?
Mobile, maybe. I think.
Yeah, it could be something to do with that. I think it's a server client desync thing now that they've got all of the clients, the clients generating chunks around it and the servers generating ones that it already knows about or something. Is that right?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah, because Jen experienced that with the host seeing the portal that wasn't their thing. Yep.
Yeah.
So it just sounds like the information's not getting backwards and forwards. So it's probably a lag thing on their end or a device issue, I guess. Maybe tell them to turn the render distance down a bit locally and see if that helps.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay.
So Pearl has the next bug and says, just had a really weird bug. It might just be visual, though. The wandering trader's llama was invisible, put with no potion particles. Yep. I was really confused why I kept randomly taking damage as I was getting spit at.
Yep.
Yeah, Rotated Outface has dropped a link in there as well on the Discord for the bug report. Yeah, I've had that a few times. It's kind of weird.
Llamas are particles. It's so weird.
Llamas are particles.
If you have a custom pack that removes particles, and
is that what it is?
Oh, is that what it is?
It will remove the trader's llamas. They're considered particles. I don't know why. It's the stupidest thing ever. But yeah.
What?
If you have a custom pack where you've removed particles off of the PNG file, you remove particles, the trader's llamas are invisible. Yep.
Well, okay.
Well, that explains a few things.
Yep.
I've had that though without that on, because I had that. I've had that when I was doing secret things in a secret thing where I didn't have that on. All of the trader llamas were invisible.
Yep.
That was in 1.19.30, but I didn't have a particle pack. Yep. It was just totally vanilla.
I can't explain that one to you, but
interesting. Okay, right.
Broken.
What's Mr. Balrog's problem, Slack?
There's already a bug report for chiseled bookshelves, keeping the emitted signal strength from the comparators when the books have been removed. That's nice. That's
seems
good.
legit. Yeah. Sounds about right.
This is why we bend the chiseled bookshelves already here.
Yeah, but don't worry, because they're only releasing features to us in the snapshots that they're really confident with that are way down the line development. Now, to be fair, they did say that, these are straight out there to the public, so they do need time for the public to come back and explain these things, because they can't test everything. So
yeah,
maybe they're doing the right thing then, because we're already tearing them apart just with the few things they've released. Now, what if they had said there's going to be a new dimension or something else? We'd been ripping them to shreds.
They're not going to have time to add anything else in, because they're going to be fixing all of the things that they thought they'd finished.
Jeez. Oh, goodness.
Ira Danny says, fun bug, ships can generate in the air. It appears there is a possibility that structures can generate floating in the air after various world upgrades, which led to an amusing discovery of a ship sliced in half, suspended over ice by 100 blocks. Thankfully, Mojang know about it. It's confirmed, set to high priority, and then resolved with a won't fix.
Yeah, it's been there for a while. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we've had that one many times. It's always fun.
Yeah, that happens on a brand new world gen as well. In fact, one of the super things I was doing, I had to load a new world and it had a floating ship in it. So there you go. Okay. Yeah, next. Jessie.
Oh, I'm okay.
Yeah, remember, I get the itty bitty short ones. You get the long ones.
You're right. Robo Rufus says, "Hello, Foxy, Slack, and Jessie. A marketplace bug. The marketplace button is covered in the missing texture picture. It's even more ugly than the animated ones. Thanks for the great podcast."
Don't worry, they'll release a hot fix for that in minutes. It's probably already fixed by the time you read that out loud.
Probably.
The marketplace button downloads textures when you when you launch Minecraft. So if your internet connection is not very good, or it thinks it's got a texture and it's downloaded it but it hasn't, or there was a problem downloaded with texture and it was corrupted for whatever reason, then yeah, that can happen. So that's not just the marketplace button either. It can do that with quite a few things inside of your user interface, because that's all dynamically processed by by Mojang, in case they want to push out a new change to something or a new featured thing or something like that. So yeah, that can happen.
Well, Brood here says, I have recently come across a bug where zombified piglins don't spawn below y=0. Thankfully, I tested in creative before I made an underground portal ticking farm in survival.
Oof.
That sounds like it should have been patched out by now.
Yeah, but then you say that, but we're still getting, when you send certain things through the end portal, they spawn in the overworld at like 3,000 blocks or 5,000 blocks in the air. So
yeah.
I think since changing from 0 to -64 320, I think there's still quite a few things that they haven't found in the code lurking in places.
Don't stand a chance. I'm just saying, they don't stand a chance.
Yeah. Jeez. Okay, that's the end of this week's bug date. We now know many, many things to look out for, so thank you very much, community, for that. If you want to leave us a bug or something that's bugging you, then you can, of course, send us an email to news@theminecraftupdate.com, or fill out the handy feedback form on the website, or join the Discord that we've got. The Discord. You could put it on there. It's a good place to put it. The Discord.
Yeah, in the Discord. It's great.
Yeah.
In the Discord.
In the Discord. The unofficial Minecraft Update Discord. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, it is time to go into the wish list, which means we talk about all of the things we either really do want or we wish were in Minecraft, or things that we really wish weren't. Starting with Jessie, and I think this is a really wish wasn't by the looks of things.
It's not. Okay, I know. I am somebody who is like, modded, no thank you. Modded in vanilla, I think not.
No.
I want a builder's wand. I want it. I want to make my life easier. Just, give me a builder's wand. I can make a wall in like 2 seconds. It's going to be great. I need it. I have a lot of terraforming to do. I just give me.
Can you just explain what a builder's wand is, Jessie?
Okay.
For those at home that don't know.
So, for those of you who haven't played modded, of course, there's a builder's wand. And what it is like, you can click dimensions. Sometimes it's like 4x4. Other times it's like super simple, like a 3 long section, where then if you have like, say, stone in your hand, you just click it and it builds it for you. So it's like a 3x3 section of just like stone. So it's not textured or anything, but you just like can get like specific pre-made chunks that are just like whoop, instantly, and it's nice.
Wow.
I'm gonna hard no that one. I'm gonna pull on my veto that we have once a podcast on that one.
Wow, I got vetoed.
You didn't need it, Slack, because I agree with you.
Yeah.
I want a builder's wand in Minecraft as much as I want a hammer to break a 3x3 hole, and as much as I want a paxel, which is a pickaxe, shovel, and
I'm glad we're on the same page.
I would
on this
love
one,
a
yeah.
paxel. A paxel is great.
I would genuinely love all of those things in Minecraft, and they would make things so much better, but we can't have them because it just takes away too much of what is Minecraft. And I think they're all brilliant things, but unfortunately, if they were in Minecraft, maybe it would be a good thing, maybe it wouldn't, but I think it would make Minecraft less interesting in the long run. So sorry, Jessiie.
It's fine.
It ain't going in.
It's okay.
Slack, you've got a unique and interesting one that we haven't talked about already on the podcast.
No. Scrapbooks. And, I was actually thinking we already more or less, well, there's kind of a version of it out there where you can take screenshots on realms and then it puts it in an album.
Mm-hmm.
What if you could do that on servers too, where you can make a server scrapbook, but you didn't have to actually take the picture, put it in Discord or whatever. It just saved it attached to the server itself. Like there would be a book you could go open and you could look through all the pictures that different people have taken. Like, hey, this is my base before I built it. This is the area before Lloyd came over there and chopped all the trees off of it. I mean,
well,
that's never happened
enough,
ever, Slack.
Back in the good old days when you used to be able to use MCC tool chest to look at stuff before they updated Minecraft and broke it, and the developer of that, disappeared off the face of the planet. It was very interesting because if you looked at a book in there, a book had the NBT data for a picture per page. Unfortunately, no matter how much I tried, there was no way to actually add one in via the game or via MCC tool chest. But theoretically, the system was in place that each page could have a unique picture on it, which I thought was a really good idea. I thought that was a great idea, and I would really like that. And while we're talking about fixing books or making books better, I would really like it if they could bring over to Bedrock the stuff that Java's had forever, which is the ability to click on text in books and run commands. So, yes, more book functions, scrapbooks, pictures in books. I'm into it. And that would go hand in hand with my photo mode that we put in the Good Ideas bin a while back. So you could have that photo mode, click a button to add it to the book that you hold in on the page that you open at or something. I think that'd be great.
Yeah, I'd be all about that. And as far as commands go, you know what command I would actually like to see in Bedrock? Off topic, but I mean, we're on the wish list. The ones where you can have a command block that targets at the player that interacted. Not at self, not at random, not, a specific name, but the last person who interacted with.
Yeah. Well, interestingly enough, again, Slack, that exists in the game because for NPCs that have dialogue, which is within the vanilla part of the game, you use it for the marketplace stuff and add-ons and things like that. They have a selector called @initiator, and it is for the person that interacted with them. Not at S, not at P, not at closest player. It is @initiator. So that exists for them, but it doesn't exist for anything else. And I would really like to use that for many things.
Yeah. Yep, my blood pressure didn't go up by 30 points just then. Everything's fine.
So yeah, that would be great if they could expand that. That would be very, very nice. Okay, my wish list thing is that I would like the new bookcases to work like I expected them to. No. So I'd like to be able to put a book on wherever I want. I would like to be able to take out the book that I'm looking at, and I would like the books to have unique textures like we were led to believe with our imaginations during the Minecraft update, the Minecraft Live show thing. So yeah, that's what I want. Thoughts on that, guys?
Absolutely. It is weird to me that it isn't that way.
Yeah. Oh, I could have sworn that they made it feel like it was that way in Minecraft Live.
They did.
They did. I'm sure they even said it.
No.
Maybe they didn't. Maybe it was just our imaginations running wild with it. But I could have sworn that's what they were doing.
They said it remembered where it was.
Yeah.
So that that wording specifically makes you think that, okay, I can take it out as I can take one of them out that I want. So that's the confusing part. The idea that you have to remove everything to get the first book you put in. Stupid. I don't like it.
It's just like bundles. Yeah. I want something out the bundle. Well, just throw it on the floor then, mate. It's fine. Why? I don't want everything out of the bundle. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my God. This is bundles as a block.
Oh,
yeah, it's
man.
a bundle bookcase.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Which book do you want? All of them.
Take it all or nothing.
Wow. Good talk.
Yeah. So can I have that one in the good ideas bin, please?
Yes, you can.
Yay.
Absolutely.
So we've got mine and Slack's in the good ideas bin. For anybody keeping notes on that, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, those people in the Discord that are working on it, those 2 ideas go in the good ideas bin, but Jessie's unfortunately
that builder's
does
one.
not.
No.
Fine.
Let's find out if any of the community wishlist items are also going to make it into the good ideas bin. Starting with Maribel Jade, that new person that's back again, saying, based on the idea of leveling up villagers and their book trades from last week, what if you could teach them what the enchants you want? I.e., rather than rolling and re-rolling for the enchant you want, you give them the enchant you want them to learn. Say, give them 10 emeralds and an Unbreaking book, then their book would be Unbreaking 1, and you buy 10 of those, and then they level up to Unbreaking 2. That way you would have to grind to get the book you want, but then you could have an entire army of Unbreaking villagers if we want. Unfortunately, though, Jade, where you get the first one from? Chicken and egg situation going on here.
I guess you're going to have to fish for it, or you're going to have to get lucky and find it out of a chest.
Yeah. So, how long would it take you to get Mending Villager then?
Yeah. Oh, no. Mending. Nope. Bad ideas, Ben. Go away. Nope.
Bad,
Fired.
Bad.
Maybe if you could give a librarian that already had a book, to teach it, maybe they have a blank slot that you can teach it to learn a new one, as well as the one that it comes with in stock. Maybe that could be a cool thing. So once it had leveled up to what's the top level villager you get?
A master, isn't it?
Master. Yeah, maybe a master one unlocks a blank book slot, and you can give it a book that you want it to sell, and then it can level up that book. I wouldn't be opposed to that.
No, snap that out of existence.
I don't know. Yeah.
No. Okay, fine. Sorry, Jade. I tried hard for you there, mate. It was a resounding no. Okay, moving on.
Victim says renewable sand in the desert via sandstorm. When it's raining in the rest of the world, let it have a sandstorm in the desert. Use snow mechanics to create layers of sand on the surface. I love that idea. I love that idea so much. Absolutely.
I'm into it. All over it. We don't even need to change it. Someone in the Discord did mention putting cauldrons down and catching sand in cauldrons, but I don't see the point. I want sand layers. I've always wanted sand layers.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Okay, but the snow breaks into snowballs. What's the sand going to break into? Because it's layers.
Well, I would say you can only harvest it once it's a full block, or otherwise it just breaks into nothing because it's sand at the end of the day.
Okay,
we don't need dust.
Okay, because it'd be weird having 17 different sand layers in my inventory.
Yeah.
This is one hot sand. This is two hot sand. But you can't pick up snow layers. It's snowballs.
No, true. So, yeah. I want to be able to place the sand layers as well.
I know. I like this idea too, but I'm just thinking,
I think for it to be Minecrafty enough, I would be happy if they just made it that you got sand layers naturally from a sandstorm, and occasionally that would build up to a full block size, and you could harvest that as a sand block. Going forward from that, I would like the ability to be able to create sand layers and place sand layers one way or another.
but it would never happen because we play on
Why?
servers with one player sleep, and that clears the weather. And
Oh my God.
oh God, here comes the
Oh
sandstorm.
my God.
Here comes
Again.
Jessie logging
Again.
into sleep on the
Again.
I
mushroom
don't think
island.
the sandstorm should be. I don't think that should be controlled by. Although it would be good if you could get rid of it by sleeping. I guess.
Yeah.
Well, you
Yeah.
can't. You can't sleep through the rain. You can only sleep through thunderstorms.
Yeah.
So your point doesn't make sense there. Slack.
Yeah. Okay. So you get
Have
sandstorm
you
just
met you?
occurring at random, but when you sleep at night time, the sandstorm goes away. Yeah. Hello.
Sorry, I think I'm getting death messages from Jessie. It's okay.
No death messages. Not today, my friend. Not today. I don't. Why do we want to sleep away the sandstorm? Like,
Well,
I
just
like
so
that you
if you're
can't
working
sleep
in,
through rain.
everyone's going to live in the desert when we get camels, right? So
Oh,
you
yeah.
probably don't want to just be permanently blind. And
Oh,
have
it'd be
that
worse than the snow and rain. Yeah.
noise.
But how often does it rain? Like, how often would this be a
Oh,
problem?
come on. Nobody likes rain.
Well, that would actually
No.
fix the problem of rain in the desert. Now you have something even worse than rain in the desert. You have a sandstorm.
Yeah, no, I think it needs to be. I think the player needs to be able to get rid of it by sleeping. I think that's
Okay.
essential.
I can compromise to that.
Unless it's really fast and it just sort of rolls through and just deposits loads of sand with it.
That
Like
would
once
be
a day.
cool.
Blah, blah, blah.
No, not necessarily once a day, but once like every few days. There's a big sandstorm. It takes a few seconds. It comes from one side of the desert, goes over to the other, and you just end up with a bunch more sand layers.
Oh, that'd be great because then you'd end up with, somebody trying to build something in the desert for some reason and suddenly half of their stuff's covered up in sand. It'd be great.
Yeah.
That would be really cool.
Yeah, but that's
though.
how deserts work.
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to that at all.
That's like literally how the dunes in the deserts move around. Deserts
know.
are very, very like they change a lot.
And then slowly over time, the biomes can shift and suddenly your jungle slowly gets swept over with the desert.
Yeah,
No.
it wouldn't cross biomes, I'm sure, but it
No,
would
I'm
be
talking
kind
about
of
the biomes shift, that make it even more epic. Oh, I'm basing in the jungle near a desert. Oh, here 2 weeks into the world. Half of it's now desert.
Okay, I'm gonna put I want to put that in the good ideas bin.
Me too.
I like fun ideas. I don't know if I like good ideas on this one.
Oh, come on, Slack. You know it's a good idea.
Long
Great
as I can
idea.
sleep it away and Jessie
Yeah.
gets to lose it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, all right.
Okay. What does Brood want, Slack?
Brood wants an item that could instantly oxidize copper one stage. Large copper fields all over are ugly. But no, because it's fun to catch somebody with an oxidized copper field out and then go out there and just hit it with wax.
Evil.
Or take your axe to it and put them all back to zero.
Yeah.
Wow.
No.
Evil.
Oxidize your copper in stealth.
I think I hate copper fields. I do, but I think that copper is great in the fact that it's uniquely ages like that, and I would like more things in the game to age like that. I think we'll get to a point where the copper fields aren't as as big a deal as they are. You won't see maybe as many of them, or maybe they could add something into the game to make it so you can oxidize them in bulk a little bit easier. But yeah, I don't think we should be able to change. I don't think we should be able to affect them oxidizing quicker.
Mhm.
No, bad idea, Burr. Bad. Just
Sorry.
no. In the bad. bin.
Kirikian says, so I had an idea for the grappling hook. I think the best part about it would be when you're building a big project and need to place blocks on the bottom, like say of a floating island, Slack.
No, not interested.
It would
no.
be cool to hang there with the grapple to place
No.
blocks around
Gee.
you, or to get up and down without having to use a boatload of rockets.
No.
I agree, Kirikian. I think that's a great use case for the grapple hook. It is in the fun ideas bin. It's not in the good ideas bin, but
Long as
Yeah.
it can degrade and break, and you have to make a new one.
I think you would lose your grapple after each one. You'd have to make a new grapple for each one. I don't think it should be infinite uses.
Yeah, there you go. No, okay, then all right. If we do it that way, then I'm sewed, and they're non-stackable.
Oh no,
Non-stackable.
no!
Yeah.
It's just an arrow.
No,
No,
Gotta be
unstackable.
stackable.
Unstackable. No,
Yeah.
like a flint and steel.
No.
I-
Okay, unstackable, but you get 16 uses.
No, because then you could just have ender pearls or the equivalent. No, unstackable.
No, you can't hang up underneath a floating island and place blocks with ender
if you got
pearls.
horrible lag, you can.
Or if you're building in the new empty dimension, you can.
Or you could just, pillar up with scaffolding.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay. I was so against this before, right? I was very adamant. I didn't even want it in the fun ideas bin. I just got overruled and caved. I like this now. I like the idea if it's breakable. If it's breakable,
non-stackable.
Non-stackable.
No.
And
Okay.
I like
and
it.
you can have 4 uses. You can have 4 or 8.
Okay.
You can't get
Or
16.
stackable in 8s.
No.
I think that's
you can
it.
get. Okay, all right. You can get 4 uses out of it, and if you put Unbreaking 3, you can get like 16.
Yes. I'm sold. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, all right. all right.
Yeah. I'll
But still
approve it.
non-stackable.
Still non-stackable.
Goodness
But 16 uses with Unbreaking.
Unbreaking
Done.
3, you get 16
Yep.
uses.
Yep.
No Unbreaking, you get 4. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Deal. Sold. Good idea, Spin. It's going in. Yes. We're getting grappling hooks in the game, guys.
Oh goodness. Okay. Pearl says a very simple one, but I wish when you pick block it would give you the biggest stack of that block in your inventory, not random stacks of 2 you have. I firmly disagree. I wish it would give you the one that you have the least of, so that you don't have
What?
random stacks in your freaking inventory of like.
I agree with Jesse.
I
agree
want.
with Pearl. It drives me nuts
no.
when I pick block and I know I've got some and it gives me 2. And I'm like, why? I have a full stack just there.
Because then all you do is
clearly
you
building
pick
with
block
this.
it again. So
Why? Yeah, but
because-
why?
Okay, why do I want? I am a builder. Do you know how irritating it is if I have 4 stacks of like 30 blocks when I could have 2 stacks and then room for other things? Absolutely not.
But you'll only have one stack that's got less than a stack in it.
Or will you?
Yeah.
Like what?
No,
I think
no.
reversed. Give me the stack with the least so that I can get rid of it and clear a space. That is what I want.
No.
Yep.
If I go to pick block stone out of my inventory, I swear it spins like a roulette wheel. It's like, ding! Which one do you get?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Listen. Right. Let's think about this logically. You've got a full hotbar, and you have in your inventory 3.5 stacks of stone. You want to build with stone, so you pick block, and it gives you a full stack of stone. So you've still got a half stack of stone in your inventory. You use 16 of those stone, which means you've now got. Well, let's say you use 48 of those stones, so you've still got 16 or however many left.
Yeah.
Yeah, 16 left. And then you go to pick block something else, which goes back in your hotbar. So that 16 goes back into your inventory, but it combines with the one that still only had 32 in it. So now you've got 2 stacks and 48 in there.
But that's not how it works. But if it did work like that, I think I'd be more.
That's how it should work.
Or if
so you've always got the most to build with, but when it goes back in your inventory, they join together so that you are not clogged up.
Or what if at the same time too,
fine.
You can like if I've got 16 of something on my hotbar, say I'm building with stone and it gives me 16. If I pick block again, please give me the rest of that stack.
Yeah.
Please let me fill up that stack by looking at something that already is in my inventory and just fill up the stack when I pick block again.
Yeah.
But it would do that if it was giving you a full stack and putting effectively that is exactly what I've just said, but you're thinking about it as a physical thing going to a physical thing. If it did that, what I said, it would give you a full stack and it would put the stuff that you've got left and combine it with your smaller stack. Right?
If that is how that worked, I agree. I do tend to think I would rather work with the smallest stack first to clear a spot, though.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Just the way my brain works, give me the smaller stack so that I can clear a space. I need more space. If I've got a stack
in my inventory and I'm pick blocking it, I want a stack. I don't want less than a stack if I've got more than a stack available. That just makes sense to me.
I definitely think...
I hadn't considered none of this till we said this. And now I really want to be able to re-top up my stack while I've got it in my hand too.
Yeah.
See, this
Well, that
comes
would do
down
that.
to
So-
what type of player you are, I think, because it sounds like the three of us, just the three people, have completely different mindsets of how that process is. Like Slack wants it one way, I want it another, and you want it a different way completely.
No, Slack wants it exactly the same way as I do. He's just thinking about it from the other
You
end.
just worded it differently.
Well,
Yeah.
in a sense, because like say you're going to build something that's 64 blocks long and you got 16 on your inventory, but you can look down and pick block right now and immediately refill your stack so you know you don't have to stop midway.
Yeah, but that will leave you with a partial stack in your inventory because it's going to take 48 from one and it's going to leave you with 16 in your inventory. Whereas the way Jessie's saying it, it would put the whatever you've got on your hotbar, 16 back in your inventory and give you the small stack. Right?
No,
so
that's
Slack
not...
is saying exactly the same thing as me.
No,
you
totally got
because
that wrong.
you wouldn't have
you
the
totally got
rest
that
of
wrong.
it.
You totally got it wrong.
Yeah, I was like, that's not... No?
No, I think the combined effort of what we want is all the same. We're just all explaining it different.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what's happening here, is we all kind of want the same thing. It's just I still want things reversed from Foxy, but it's the same premise. We want all of the things to combine when we're done with the pick block. But you want to work with full stacks, whereas I want to work with whatever the least amount is.
Yeah.
But you end up with this. No, I think, Jessie, if you think about it, you're going to end up with more half stacks in your inventory doing it that way.
No, because it would combine, just like you said. So it's the same end goal. I still want things to combine. I just want to work with the smaller number, whereas you want to work with the bigger number. So we have the same middle ground. We still want to have them combine. So we have the same amount of stacks. We just want to work with the opposite number.
But why?
That's all. It's just the way that I process. I would like to know my small amount. I don't care how many full stacks I have.
If you are going to be placing 32 or 48 blocks of that block, and your smallest stack in your inventory is 16, then you've got to pick block twice to get enough blocks to do it. If you're given a full stack, you can place a full stack's worth without having to pick block again and then go to what you've got left. Or if you don't use the full stack, it's just combining with your smallest stack. So you're not having to pick block as much.
So I think listening to you, the main difference is what we use things for. I don't ever use a full stack of one thing at a time. I pick block consistently because I do the variation as I go. So I terraform. So the idea that I would need a full stack of anything is ridiculous to me at a time. I wouldn't do that. There would be
I need like 6 stacks at once. At least if I'm doing a big build.
Well, I need those things, but I need them at different times. So again, So at the end of the day, this comes down to how people play differently. So for me, it makes sense that I know, okay, I'm using the smaller number, whatever. I don't need it to be like, unless it gives me one. Well, then I use that one and I'm out of stack. So that's great.
Here's where I like the idea of being able to top it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I pick block. I pick block warped wood and it gives me 3. And I'm like, okay, I'd rather have a full stack right now. And I pick block again. If it doesn't give me more than that, then I know that's all I got. It's 3. But if I hit it again, I get a full stack.
I like that. That is a nice way to do it. Like if I only want the 3, that's fine. But if I need more than that, double pick block and it's fine. Like that, I get that idea.
Replenish my pick block stack.
Yeah.
I just think if it was done the way I said it, everybody would think, oh, that's logical. And you wouldn't think about it any other way if that was the way it had always been in the game. Whereas if it is the other way round and it's always giving you the smallest stack, which is pretty much what it does now, people complain about it. So I just think I get where you're coming from, but I don't think in your circumstances, Jessie, it makes any difference to you whether or not you've got a full stack or one in your stack if you're only building with small quantities. Whereas for people that are doing big builds using similar blocks, it's always preferable to have as many blocks to work with as possible. So
okay, well here's my
therefore
my
idea is better.
My argument in that,
though,
Foxy. Okay, so say you're building a pyramid. All right.
Yeah.
First level, 64 blocks, 63, 62, 61. And it keeps going up. Okay. So now you're at the level where you're building, it's 31 blocks across. You do one line across. You go to turn. Well, you don't got enough to finish the next row. What if you could just look down and immediately top up that stack? Then go. Look down and top up.
Yeah, I agree with you. Topping up, I'm not denying that at all. I think topping up's a brilliant idea. I think that should be definitely a thing. But I think if you haven't got it in your hotbar already, I think it should give you as many as you've got, as much as you've got, as like a full stack if you've got it.
So you just want to start with the full stack. Okay, I get where you're going.
Yeah,
and I want to add in topping up
because it doesn't matter if you end up with like. If you end up just placing one block, it doesn't matter because when you pick block again, it's just going to go back in and combine with what you got, right?
Okay. Well, what if you go to pick block and it gives you 2, and Foxy's like, "Oh man," and picks block again and gets a full stack?
No, I don't want to pick. Why? Why have to pick block twice if you've got them?
Well, if you go to pick block the second time, then you have no more stone in your inventory.
No, sorry. I think we should always give you a full block. Anyway, we've killed this one. I think at the end of the day, we wish it worked better than it did.
Yeah.
Needs review. Needs review.
Yeah, so I think one way or another, there's a good idea in there. We just can't quite figure out which is the best way to go about it.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, God. And then the next one. No, I'm already saying no before I even read that loud. No.
Okay. What,
really?
Read
Why?
it.
Pirate Danny says, I wish bottles of water and potions stacked. No. No.
Why?
No.
Why?
No.
Imagine PvPing and somebody just brings like stacks of potions of farming.
Why not?
No, thank you.
If they can get hold of them, why not?
No, thank you.
Because I like the idea of what we talk about with combining potions with food. Okay, then I like it. Yeah.
I honestly don't see the problem with that at all.
No.
I mean, I don't think it gives... If someone's gone to the effort of having to brew all of those, why shouldn't they be able to use them?
I mean, they can eventually.
Yeah, one at a time.
One at a time.
I think the whole non-stackable buckets, water, potions is just nonsense in my personal opinion. I honestly don't think it make any difference because, yeah, if you're doing PvP, you have still got the same opportunity as everybody else to stack potions. It's not like you're the only person that can.
Yeah, it's not as fun. I think that it's OP. I think that it's annoying.
What
and
PvP situations are you going to be in where that's going to be possible to do?
I'll come to
When
a
you do
compromise with
PvP
you.
is mini games mainly, so just limit how easy it is to get hold of potions.
I'll
So
compromise with you.
wait. So make potions harder so that you can carry more.
No, not in vanilla. But where are you playing PvP?
Not, but
Anywhere.
I still think it's
I
imbalanced.
mean, I could play PvP on TB. I don't like the idea of making something like potions more powerful. Like it's just I don't see the point. Like if it's not something I'm interested in.
Yeah.
Well, it's not going in the good ideas bin. I can put it that way.
Yeah.
Okay, Slack, what was you going to say? Sorry, we kept cutting you off there.
I was gonna, make a compromise. If you made a, haste potion, then I'd agree they could be stackable.
Yeah, the ones that are useful. Utility potions stackable, but harming ones not.
Yeah.
Okay. Harming and regeneration. Health-based ones not stackable, but utility ones stackable. Okay.
Yeah. Then we're good. Yep.
Well,
Sounds good.
well.
I'm sold now. Yep. Good job.
I don't think you can have it one way and not the other. I'm
Well,
sorry.
then put it in the bad idea bin. Just get rid of this in rubbish.
Going to have to.
Rubbish.
Jeez. Okay, Cucumber says, hello, Update Pod crew. In the most recent snapshot, Mojang reintroduced bundles, and I was thinking about how to solve the issue of getting things out of them. What if you had a separate tab in the inventory and every bundle and sugar box in your inventory would show up in there? You could see all the items and move them to and from your inventory. Thanks for the great podcast, Cucumbers. I think this goes back to what we were saying the other week where we talked about if you're standing next to a chest and a shulker box, then you can see the chest's inventory and the shulker boxes. I think there should be, if you're using a bundle, you should be, or if you've got a bundle selected in your hotbar and you go into inventory, it should show you your inventory and what's in the bundle in a separate bit below it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, yeah, rather than your main crafting screen. That would make so much more sense than dumping it all on the floor.
But could you pick block out of the bundle?
But can you
No.
pick block?
Not enough items in there, mate. Sorry.
No. No. Nope. I don't like it.
Yeah. So I don't think it needs another tab in the inventory. I think it just should show you if you're holding a shulker box or a bundle in your main hand, right, and you go into inventory, instead of showing you the recipe book and your crafting grid, it's got two bits like when you're looking in a chest. And the top is your inventory, or no, the bottom is your inventory, and the top is either your bundle or your sugar box content. Yeah?
Yeah.
Minecraft soul, put it in the good ideas bin, bro.
Hopeful Birch says, hey there, Foxy, Slack, and Jessiie. I think it would be really cool if you had some kind of personal light source. Maybe using a lantern in your offhand would create a soft glow around your character. So kind of like, what is that mod on
dynamic lighting?
No.
What is it? What is the actual mod?
Dynamic lighting.
Is it just dynamic lighting?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh.
It's part of Optifine, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking of Optifine. But yeah, dynamic lighting would be great. I've always been a fan.
Yeah, I'd love that. You need shaders for that to work, though, or RTX. But the reason it wouldn't happen in RTX is because in order to make RTX work with a procedurally generated breakable world like Minecraft, it has to work very slowly. So dynamic lighting would be awful. It would hurt your eyes. There are some dynamic lighting add-ons for Bedrock Edition. However, they are not good. Do not download them and don't use them because the way they work, and I saw what somebody posted one a while ago that sounded amazing. They even did a video of it. It works in RTX and you have different colored lights and you can hold these things in your offhand. They don't. All they do is they spam light blocks around the player, which means if you die or you teleport or you go through a portal, those light blocks are not getting removed from around you, so your world ends up full of light blocks that shouldn't be there.
Nice, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's really good. It's really,
yeah.
really
Can you imagine something that just spams like 4 to 8 blocks every couple of ticks while you were holding an item? It would just...
it makes some nice lag. It would be better lag than I experienced when I was streaming on 3K cellular data. Or 3G.
So, yeah,
3G,
don't use the Bedrock ones. It would be great if we had something in game to do that, but the engine is not built for it.
You mean we only run off of 1 core of a processor and RAM doesn't matter? Wow. Well, that would be just like horrible coding. It's like it's designed for a phone or something.
Wow.
Okay, Jessiie, who's next?
Oh my goodness. No one? Isn't that it?
No. I got Cat Boss. It's not Jessiie.
Hang on. Was it? Oh, yeah. Sorry, Jessiie just did that.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
Okay, so Cat Boss here says, no part of the website says this, but I think putting a shulk vein over a torch in a crafting table should give you a shulk torch. It would dim light so that you can make realistic caves and things like that.
But soul torches already exist, bro.
And
dim light and all that.
And so does like the lichen, yeah.
Yeah, glow lichen, yeah. Sorry, Cat Boss. It already exists.
Bad idea. Bad. Just bad. Bad, Cat Boss. Bad.
Yeah.
Just throw it away. Rubbish.
Well, we didn't get quite so many good ideas in the good ideas bin this week, but I think we got some good ones, and that does take us away from the wish list. It's the end of the wish list, which brings us into questions. And because we're doing this podcast live, it's a very, very special questions podcast.
Oh, great.
We do have some from the feedback and from the Discord and things like that. But should we do those first, or should we do the ones from the people that have been listening and waiting patiently to have their podcast questions read live from the Discord?
Didn't we do the Discord ones first, and then if we needed extras, we used the document last time?
We did, but I was just teasing the people listening. Oh. That are listening live.
Then yes.
Well, yeah, that seems legit.
Okay, right. There's a lot of stuff in here, so I guess we start from. Where do we start from?
I don't know. It's a mess.
I just looked at the today's.
Oh yeah, okay. So we got Plod first then. Saying I've missed the last few podcasts. What have you guys been talking about? Not much.
Not much. Yeah, just listen to the podcast. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
You should check them out. Okay, Jessiie.
Right. Wow, I can't read that. Sorry.
Radio Rain Quest.
Yes, thanks. I was like, that is so far away. If Minecraft stopped being a thing today, what game would you defer to produce content on for a primary game? Ooh. Honestly, I know it's gonna sound nuts, but if I couldn't play Minecraft, I'd have to get that building side out of me. Like I would need a building game, so I think I would default to Sims.
I knew you were gonna say that. I knew you were gonna say Sims.
Yeah, can't help it.
What about you, Slack?
Oh, you already know. It would be 7 days, 100%.
Yeah, I think genuinely, if Minecraft stopped being a thing, I don't think I would be making content as my primary source of income. I would have to go and find a job, and I would probably just stream different games that I enjoyed playing when I could be bothered to stream them. So I think it would be a massive change of profession and lifestyle for me, sadly, because there isn't one game I think that would be able to. I think the whole gaming YouTube thing is so saturated now. Unless you really can stand out, you're either going to have to be able to put up with being something relatively mediocre and not really getting anywhere, or just doing it for fun. So I would just go to doing it for fun, which means I just play whatever games I enjoyed.
And then you would blow up like crazy.
Well, that'd be nice.
I know, right?
But... Okay. Slack.
What Jason asked, when are we getting carbonated apple juice? Why? What, carbonated apple juice? Why?
I think it means it's what I drink sometimes on my later night streams. It's fizzy apple juice. It's not actually fizzy apple juice. It's beer.
Kind of like fizzy lemonade, huh? Nasty.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah.
What? Is it? Oh, don't get me started. The
There's
only
no
type of lemonade
you can
is
buy
fizzy lemonade.
over here, but it's not your common thing.
Wow.
You get lemonade, it's not carbonated.
You're doing it wrong.
No, you're doing it wrong.
Okay, Rotated Owlface asked the question on behalf of Django Britt, who wrote on my Discord saying, we have released custom block geometry in this version of Minecraft. This means that anyone can make custom blocks with their own custom geometry with textures without turning on Holiday Creator features, experimental toggle in settings. Jeez. Does this mean that a proper wearable player heads can come out of experimental? No, it does not, unfortunately. Although, yes, you can create miniature blocks with the custom block geometry, you cannot add any of the other things that require the experimental toggles, such as the ability for them to be interacted with, the ability for them to have any sort of event driven on them. So, and you certainly wouldn't be able to put them on your head. So, no, you could technically have mini blocks that were just slap bang right in the center of a block. You couldn't rotate them, you couldn't move them, you couldn't stick them to a wall or put them on the ceiling or the floor, you couldn't put them on your head. They would just literally be like any standard vanilla block in the game, not rotatable. You couldn't place it facing a certain direction. They would always face north. So no, it doesn't mean that we can have that, sadly.
Good talk.
Jessiie.
I always appreciate, Softboy says, I always appreciate it when you go into depth about technical changes and previews and updates. That being said, can you briefly speak on the changes made on today's release?
I think we covered that pretty much in the news. If there's anything in particular, in specific, that you'd like me to go over, then pop another question in there, and we'll get to that when we've gone through these ones, I guess.
Lord Gavatron here says, do you feel that the recent less than stellar updates are a sign of things to come, or just anomaly? I'd say they're more of an anomaly than anything.
Yeah, it's difficult to say without being able to predict the future. I wouldn't say the updates have been less than stellar. I just think they've just not handled it very well. Like the Deep Dark and the Wild update was a fantastic update. If they'd have done that in the same way that they did previous updates and just hyped it all up and got it all out, at the right time when they said they were going to do it, it would have been amazing.
Yeah.
The fact is, it took too long. There were too many changes made, too much community feedback that just made it go on forever, and we were just bored of it before it came out. That's the problem. So I don't see that there is a problem with the updates. I think there's a problem with how they're handling hype, marketing, getting it out to us, and hopefully that will be fixed soon.
Yeah, I don't consider it a big thing right now. And we've come to expect more. Each update has been honestly getting better and better and better, and now they're just giving us just a little bit, and we're just like, I mean, it's no different than the start of a season. Somebody builds a, Jessiie starts off the season last season and builds a 10-story tower. This season she starts off in like a house, and somebody's like, oh, this is not the same this year. Well, she's not, and then she just spent 86 hours this week. It's just there's lulls.
Wow.
Well, I'm just trying to think of something as an example. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, you started out with a dirt hut. Oh, that one season you started out with a 10-story tower on day 2. Well, sorry, I was motivated that day.
Different this time.
I feel so called out.
I don't think you've been called out there. I think that Slack makes a good point. We always approach things differently at the beginning of each season.
It's true.
And obviously personal time, personal things going on. Sometimes you do more, sometimes you do less. Sometimes you've got different plans to other times. And I think it's very reflective of what's happening with Mojang at the minute.
Yeah. I mean, you may start off, Mumbo starts off with a dirt hut and then builds a giant spear of death. It depends on when you're joining, on what you see with the level of hype that's involved with it, I guess.
Yeah. I also think the more that there's a lot more these days popularized people talking about it and playing snapshots and previews and stuff, and things like us doing the podcast. There's a lot more knowledge out there than just the Minecraft live stuff that you were probably just aware of before. Although there were always like YouTubers doing videos on things, I think it's a lot of a bigger thing now to make update hype videos and snapshot videos and preview videos and podcasts and news articles and things like that. So you see it a lot more now. So there's a lot more expectancy for things to happen and no appreciation of the time that it's hard to say. I don't mean like one's being appreciative of the updates, but it's like before you wouldn't really notice the time passing because it wasn't in your face all the time. But with like just us reading the news every single week, it feels like a very slow process compared to how it used to. And that's just because we're looking at it constantly. So
how many episodes did we talk about the ancient cities before they were in?
Oh, man. Yeah.
Like every week for months. For months, we talked about ancient cities. We got to the point where we were like, please, just don't bring it up no more. Please.
Yeah.
Please.
There was many sarcasms and many,
But by the time it got here, we had done talked it to death, and then the fact that it wasn't a portal just broke people's heart,
Yeah, I would
still
agree.
not a part of. Okay, I'm going to skip a few questions because they talk while we were going live. Yeah. So I'm going to go down to Lucas M that says, any idea when your map will come out? I don't actually, Lucas. I was really hoping to get it ready and done for Christmas, but chances are I'm going to miss the boat by miles because I've been so busy doing all of these other super secret things. I haven't had any time to put into it. So I'm going to assume that's going to be an early 2023 thing. And I don't want to, even if it's ready, I don't want to put it out in January because it would just die. So you're probably looking at February, March time, probably spring, which is a shame, but at least that gives me plenty of time to make it even better. So yeah, many work to do on that. So no rush.
Buster says, on picking individual books from the bookshelves, how would touch interact with it? Precision. Those are many different questions. You read them on unique textures for different book types and bookcases. I can imagine that would be needing quick math, 308 more bookcase textures, one for each possible state, since textures are done per block, not per part of a block. Oy.
Oh, Coalbuster, you are so wrong, my friend.
Uh-oh.
In fact, just in this update, and we've already talked about it, in 1.19.40, the experimental custom block features, another thing that was released was material instances. And what that means is that part of your block geometry can have a completely different texture to another part. So you could very easily split a block up into as many different components as you want and give each one of those a different texture. And with the stuff that's already in experimental but not released, you could even make it that when you clicked on that block, it would change the texture of a particular part of that block. So that is easy. It's already in the game.
All right, Codebuster, you just got shut down.
But the interaction with it in terms of touch control, yes, obviously, if you're on a touch controller and you're not using the classic interface, i.e. the crosshair, and you're using your finger, that's going to be relatively difficult. I guess the player would just have to walk quite close, so the bookcase was big on the screen. Which seems like quite a nice, simple thing to do. And considering how small touch devices can be and how small the buttons can be on there, like your keyboard on the bottom of your phone, and people manage to write messages and stuff to each other without too much of an issue, I really don't think it would be that much of a big issue.
Not much of an issue? Have you seen my fingers and trying to use that phone?
Yeah, the sort of people it affects are not the sort of people like you, Slack.
Wow.
You have a keyboard. Okay, next question.
Which is the next question?
Wally?
When is the next big update coming out? This question is for Foxy. Will you make a light pack?
Yeah, of course. I'll do it now. The next big update is coming out next year at some point. We don't know. I would like to say that it'll be spring, but realistically, it's probably going to be summer with the fact that they've just announced they're going to be doing minor updates as things go on. So we'll see. Don't know on that one. The make a light pack? No, because it's not possible, mate. They changed the rendering engine. So unless you want to spam millions of entities around the players just to cover a small area and check the light level per entity and feed all of that back to the player, it ain't going to happen. So sorry.
Doable, but super laggy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I made it with entities that just like they were flat entities and they just dropped themselves onto the top layer of the ground you're around. It was a bit of a nightmare in caves. It kind of worked, but it was quite easy to walk away and some of the entities didn't despawn. So, and it was really laggy.
Lag bringer. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's your turn, Foxy.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, goody. Well, maybe Slack should read that one, seeing though it's someone you know, Slack.
No,
it's a friend from work.
Genfire. Yeah. There's a lot of hate for the bookshelves. What do you think about the other textures on the top, bottom, and sides, more aimed at the builders among us?
Well, basically, this is not a question for Foxy. Thanks, Jen. Appreciate it, mate.
You want to go first, Jessie?
Yeah. Okay. So I always will appreciate more texture for builds and using blocks that aren't specifically for something in ways that, are creative and new. So am I excited that there is a new texture? Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. I do think that it will be pretty limiting, though, if they do not give us bookshelves of different wood types. And I'm not as excited as I could be, but I do appreciate that they have given us something that has unique features more than just the redstone. As a builder, I think that's pretty great.
Yeah, I like it. Except for the fact that it's going to be part of the Birch Desert update, and it's only one block palette now. Oh, you made this with dark oak. Sorry, it still looks like birch.
Yeah.
No.
Although I shouldn't answer this question because I'm not a builder, I would just like to point out and reiterate what Jessie said a bit there, in the fact that it's quite interesting that the bookcase is a completely different color to the other bookcases, and the new style of books on the front don't look anything like the old one. So it's not like we've even got two bookcases from the front, not the sides and the top. I like the sides and the top, but like, let's say you wanted to make variated bookshelves using the original bookshelves as well. You can't because they don't match.
It looked horrible, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they showed us in the actual video. They had mixed regular bookshelves in there at one
but
point.
It didn't look.
I was just gonna say, I agree with you. It did not look good at all. It clashed and was not great. So, are there ways you could work around that? Absolutely. Could you realistically make it work? Yeah. But if your main focus is like, I want something to be aesthetically pleasing, I would immediately notice the two different types. And I would just be like, I want to fix. I would want like a texture pack to make them the same. It just absolutely would bug me that they're so different.
Before we go to the next question, hands up in the chat if you would like some news about a brand new thing that is coming in 1.19.20 that I haven't heard anybody talking about, but it is there quite clear as day to everybody in the world if you look hard enough for it.
Me, I do.
Jessiie, you want to know?
Yeah, I do.
This goes with Slack's theory that the 1.20 is going to be the desert update.
Okay.
Can anybody guess what has already been added that nobody's spoken about?
Oasis?
No. Close. We now have 3 brand new structures within the desert called desert town centers, which are desert meeting points 1, 2, and 3. So 3 brand new desert structures that will be in village town centers. So there you go.
Interesting.
They are available. If you look in the preview resource pack files, they are in there for the next experimental next major update behavior pack.
Well, okay then. That
coincides too with the camel only spawning in desert villages.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
They're making some changes, it would seem. Okay, we're gonna, before we get all crazy with that. If dodge roll is added in a combat update, what's the next instant topic of discussion from Foxy? That's from Lord Gavatron.
I guess it'd be the thing that I want the most the next.
I think that's what he's asking.
I guess the dodge roll is it's just a bit of a meme at this point, rather than me be desperately wanting it into the game after us playing so much Elden Ring. And I just like the fact that, it's a bit of an ongoing joke that we can share within the podcast. So I'm sure something else like that will come along. As for what it is at the minute, maybe it'll be having bookcases that actually work properly. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe when I pick block, I want a full stack. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
I totally read that out of order, by the way, because I'm a dumb.
because I see another one up there that I would actually like to answer. Yeah,
it was.
Go for it, Slack.
Yeah, Gav's first one.
Yeah, Lord Gavatron's first one up there. If given the opportunity to meet in real life, would the members of TB ever hang out? No fans or fanfare, just a family style meal. Absolutely, and I plan to.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I 100% plan to.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I mean, sometime next year, in the next 6 to 7 months, I plan on making a trip over to the UK for a specific reason. And there are many of my colleagues inside of TB that live in the UK, and I'm going to do everything I can to meet with each of them while I'm over there.
Yeah. And if I wasn't trying so hard to save money to pay for the house that I live in, then I would be putting some money aside to take a trip to the States and do a bit of a road trip as well, because I'd love to do that and go meet everybody.
Let's meet up at Disneyland.
Anywhere but Disneyland, because I don't want COVID.
I was just kidding. Hey, I go all the time.
I've avoided it so
safe.
far. Disneyland sounds like a place to get it. Sounds like a good place. You want COVID? Come Disneyland, guys. Come on. Join queue. Come on.
Touch handrail 6,000 other people touched today. No, thank you.
I'm all right, guys. I stay home.
But yes, moral of that story, I think at this point, so many of us would absolutely hang out and just have a good time, be quite dorky, and just enjoy each other's company.
Mm-hmm.
Guyver asked a question, Slack. It's me, isn't it?
No, that's you, yeah.
Yeah. Will the new API additions allow someone to make something like Core Protect for BDS? I'm not 100% sure exactly what Core Protect does. I think that's got built-in rollback stuff, hasn't it? I don't think it would be that advanced. Basically, what you can detect with the server thing is entities, their positions, their components, their properties, and you could make a log of what players are online, where those players are, where those players have been. You can't work out what they've interacted with necessarily. There's some very basic stuff with that, but you couldn't say, has this player placed lava, or unless you're logging every single block in, around them, and you suddenly, because one of the interesting things you can look at is what an entity is looking at. What is the first block or entity in front of them? And you can also do something called raycasting, which means you can say at any particular coordinate in the world with like an imaginary camera facing in any direction, what is the first block that is seen? So this is how I was thinking about generating maps around the player. As you walk around the world, imagine let's say that on Truly Bedrock website, we've got a blank map. And as we walk around the world, it starts filling in. And the way you would do that is you would, every couple of ticks, you would move this camera wherever, like in relation to a player, to look at each of the blocks within a chunk and send back whatever block from like above. Let's say this camera was at like 500 in the ground, looking straight down, and that block, the first block it hit was grass. So you could get a top map effectively of what is around and send that information back. So if you wanted to create something incredibly laggy, you could check every single block for changes and log all of that. But it would be like spamming. Oh, it'd be ridiculous. So yeah, it's not necessarily going to be something useful for that. I'm sure somebody could come up with a clever way of doing it to do better logging and figure stuff out. It's certainly not going to start rolling things back, I don't think. But yeah, it's got potential to give us a lot more information than we're currently getting. Does that make any sense?
I think so. Yeah.
I was just laughing at Lord Gavatron. Sorry. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
I looked over at chat while you were reading, and it just made me chuckle.
Am I next?
Yeah.
Okay. Divine Madness.
Divine Madness.
Wow. I my brain read that wrong. Divine Madness says, do you think we will ever have different kinds of horses like ponies and workhorses? Probably not.
No.
Yeah.
No.
No, 100% no on that one. I think we've already got all the variations of horses we're going to get.
Yeah.
I think camels are just going to be like a 10-minute fad, and then they'll never get used again.
Yeah.
Right, peeps. Unless we've got any more genuine questions coming through from the chat, we will move on to the questions that we've had from the community over the last couple of weeks. Oh, of the last week, sorry. And we won't do that just yet because I've just lost my document. There it is.
Good job. Good job there. Mm-hmm.
I found it again. Don't worry, guys. Okay, first question is from Mike, who says, hi, FS and J. Hope you are here this week. Random question, is sleeping based off life... Random question, is sleeping based off light level or sun position? In my 1.18/1.19 world, it feels like sleeping in 1.19 is based on light level. When behind a 5-block high wall facing the sun, I seem to be able to sleep while the sun is higher than when in the open world. Maybe living in Australia has me all upside down, but I thought I'd ask the level 99 experts. Brilliant podcast, always brings a smile to my face. That's interesting. It should be based off the time of day, the time of day. But it wouldn't surprise me if they changed it.
Yeah, it was just different.
That's it. I can go into a cave and sleep at noon. Oh, Jessie's never going to get sandstorms. I mean, what?
Okay. Next question.
Robo Rufus says, hello, Foxy, Slack, and Jessie. So this is more directed towards Foxy, but how do you get achievements in TB with your add-ons? P.S. I was Lego Steve on the feedback form, but I switched to the Discord.
Good. Thank you for switching to Discord and making my life easier. I can't possibly tell you that. It's a secret, and if I told you, then I'd have to delete it and edit out of the podcast.
Yeah.
So it's a secret.
They're touchy about their achievement system. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's kind of obvious if you think about it, and that's all I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, that one's really not one that you can really go into.
I mean, to be honest with you, this season, it was a total accident. It didn't even mean to. So, just the way it went, guys. Okay, Slack.
DJ Chris, 2019 here. Yay. Man, DJ Chris, yeah. What if Minecraft archaeology update came in 1.20? Share your thoughts and love the podcast. No,
I won't share my thoughts. No. Shut up.
No. Take your rubbish question somewhere else.
I think it would fit well with what they're suggesting doing, but it does seem that they are very much purposely pretending it never existed at the moment. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Like super
Maybe
duper
they'll bring it
graphics,
out
right?
Oh my God.
What? Super what?
Creamy Rainquest says, after so long with slabs being so finicky, I have had great success placing slabs quickly again on the Bedrock version. Was this fixed in secret? I don't remember this being any change notes.
Yeah.
Well, Crania, if you'd have been watching my Bedrock Edition beta update videos that I did for a very short amount of time when the mangrove swamps were coming out, you will have seen me very happily and rejoicefully placing many slabs in a straight line without having to click each one of them. It was not a secret. It was in the change notes. You just missed it. Maybe you were too busy writing feedback like that other person that wrote too much feedback instead of listening to the podcast. Oh, speaking of which.
Ah, Jessiie, look who's next.
Some terrible people. Purple! Hey guys, it's Purple. I really liked your Minecraft live podcast last week. And I think you guys said exactly what we were all thinking. Sorry for the lack of feedback last week. I was really busy. Expect a lot this week. From Purple.
Oh, I was ready to get all like, ooh, but no, I read that wrong. I read that it was like they thought we did the live version of the podcast last week, but no, they were on about the fact that we were talking about Minecraft live last week.
See, now who's not reading right? Now who's not paying attention?
I was too busy writing my response. I wasn't listening.
Wow.
Purple,
Good job there, Purple.
I appreciate all the feedback. Wow.
Like, is Purple... Is Purple even here? Like, Purple's not... No, Purple didn't know we had Discord. That's right, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, you totally missed out, Purple. Just saying.
Purple, you missed out on the live show because you don't listen. Come on. Pay attention. I'm only kidding, Purple. It's very, very nice to receive all the feedback. It's great to see people that are genuinely taking a good interest and are being, giving us your time. So don't stop.
Yeah.
It makes me laugh and smile.
Hey, y'all see the next one here? It's more of a question feedback thing. It's from Purple again.
What?
Yeah. Says, hey, Foxy, Jess, and Slack, it's Purple. This week, I was thinking about how much time it takes for you guys to make the podcast. How many hours do you have to put into this? It has been a lot. It has to be a lot. As much as a Java player as I really appreciate it. I mean, I've put in this week, we're 2 hours and 13 minutes. Foxy's put in a lot more.
Okay, so for instance, for today's one, we were set to go live in the Discord at 7 p.m. my time. We meet up at 6:30, which is generally roughly when we normally start recording the podcast. And from 5 p.m, I was working on sorting out the docs, doing the news, making the announcements. After the podcast finished, I will tomorrow morning download the audio from Slack and Jessiie. I will render those to get rid of all of the horribleness out of them. That takes half an hour, and then I will edit the podcast, which will take 2 to 3 hours. And then I'll have to upload it, make the thumbnails, generate a video out of it, which is normally about another hour or so. So for me, I would say it's about 6 hours a week ish, maybe a bit more.
And for, I say, me and Jessie's probably about 3 hours a week.
Yeah.
So it's not a massive amount really, but it's I enjoy it. So there you go. It's the main thing.
Mm-hmm.
And once we got Patreon, it'll be worth it, guys.
I mean, how many questions did we get? How much did we make today? I mean,
my goodness.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Okay, the last question is from Zodifile saying, Foxy, if your fish bowl is only 1 block big, how are you going to fit a salmon, which can be 2 blocks long? Just curious. Oh, Zodifile. How many people got a salmon in their fish tank, bro? What are you going to put in your fish tank, Fred? Well, I caught myself a couple of trout, 3 tuna, and a salmon. They're for tropical fish. They're not for salmon.
Oh, now I gotta Google this. Now I gotta Google. Never mind. It exists. Never mind.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
People do. People
Yeah,
do. Sorry,
salmon
they do.
tanks.
Nobody got salmon in their fish tank.
It's like saying people don't
What
have
have you got
sharks.
in yours, mate? Oh, I got a great white, couple of blue whales, a few eels, and a dolphin.
You know what? I'll put a salmon in my fish tank just to be different.
There is a difference between a fish bowl, okay, which is what we're talking about, a fish tank, and an aquarium.
Fair.
All right, now the devil's in the details in that, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, jeez. If you can fit a salmon in a fish bowl, then you've obviously got a very sharp knife or a good mincing machine.
Oh!
When does a pond become a lake? That's all I'm going to say.
Wow.
Oh, jeez. Okay,
Wow.
right. That is the end of today's questions, which means, unfortunately, guys, it's the end of this week's podcast, which means all we got to do is tell you what we're going to be going into. I don't know.
Was
Talk about next
was
week.
that English? Was that English?
Yeah. Jesse, what are you doing this week?
I'm not playing any TV ever again. Probably just put about 97 hours into it.
Probably put out 7 TV videos this week. I'm not. Really.
Wow. I will be streaming some days. We don't know when, but I'll be streaming at some point. And that's about it. I have
our
secret
inconsistencies.
things.
I love them. I love our inconsistencies. It goes from somebody's like fully scheduled one week. This is what I'm doing the next week. So I go live.
Well, I will be
live.
once I've finished being, when you guys let me back out of my cupboard and I'm allowed to stop working on these super secret things. I'll be back into the swing of my schedule
Look, you got
again.
plenty of time. Next summer is a long way away.
Yeah, it's true.
Hey, I haven't said what these are for yet. You're kind of giving it away. Jeez.
Well, look, I guess it's a bonus inside information then from listening to the
I
podcast.
got it all this down. Jeez. Slack, what are you up to this week? Thanks, John.
I'll stream whenever I can, and I'm looking forward to playing TV next year again. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, and for me, this week is pretty much out of the window. If I can stream, I will, but I doubt it. There won't be a video out from me this week, but hopefully, fingers crossed, next week I should be pretty much back on track. I keep saying that, but
Next week,
these
or is it the
super
week after that?
secret things,
Yeah.
they're taking a lot of my time, you see.
No,
Yeah,
super
looks like
secret.
next week, even if the super secret things aren't out, I will have finished them, so I have time to make content. Okay.
So
'Cause I
you're saying
haven't quit
normally
TV.
scheduled content is on the rise for you?
Yes.
What about you, Jesse? Is it maybe on the rise for you?
I think so. I think I'm getting back on track, getting consistent. We're gonna hop back into it shortly.
Yeah, I'm
Good.
kind of feeling it too. Yeah.
Yes. Right. There you go. We know what we're going to be doing. Don't forget, if you want to get in touch, you can email us at news@theminecraftupdate.com, or you can fill out our handy feedback form on the minecraftupdate.com website, or if you want to be really useful, you can come along and join the Discord, where we have a Discord that you can put things in, because it's a Discord. We have different channels on the Discord for feedback on the Discord, bug reports on the Discord, wish lists ideas on the Discord, questions on the Discord. We've even got news ideas on the Discord, pictures
Bug
on
report.
the Discord.
Bug
We
report.
sometimes do live recording on the Discord. Got discussion on the Discord.
Oh, we got the host
we got a lot of
discussion.
things
Yeah, we
on the
got-
Discord.
Don't forget, we got the guest area on the Discord.
Got
The
this
documents.
guest area on the Discord. So there you go. So I guess all I got left to do now is to say the same thing I say at the end of every single stream, and that is if you don't know we've got a Discord, then check out the links in the description below where it says we've got a Discord.
I
Hard to believe
can't.
people don't know we
I
don't have a
can't.
Discord with you saying that every week. Yeah.
I can't do
I know,
it.
right? Hashtag wish licks from Jason. This week's wish licks. That seems like something that would be on a different channel later at night, really,
That
doesn't it?
seems like that's a late night stream there. I'm just saying.
Goodness.
Yeah. And on that note, it's time to end. Thank you very much to all of you that have stuck around listening to this in the live show. Thank you to all of you, those that didn't bother, but, slightly less thanks than the people that are here.
I really miss
We've got-
Purple.
And we'll see you all next week. Jeez.
All
Purple, don't
right.
forget
Goodbye.
feedback.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, bye then. I'll see y'all later. Bye. Take care.